Well, I did want to bring in something
Okay.
to cold open, and then we can open.
I mean, how cold? I always ask this,
Oh,
but a cold open, we can just
this
start whenever you want. You don't have to say, hey, I'm going to do a cold open. You can just start with that.
okay. Just I want to be on the same page with you. Did you hear about the Covington update?
That was what I was reading about
Oh
with the
shit,
temporal
really?
thing.
Yeah.
He was saying, basically the short form of his tweet was like, what a world we live in. Because the federal judge dismissed the case, and he's
Yeah.
like, this kid's going to be ridiculed and harassed for the rest of his life because he literally did nothing and smiled on camera.
Yeah, he smiled on camera.
Yeah.
He did with that quote unquote asshole smile, which I keep saying is not an asshole smile. It's an I'm nervous because things are out of my control.
I mean, yes, I agree. That's probably what he was doing, but I could also agree with the statement that it could be interpreted depending on who the person doing it is. That it could be an asshole smile. It could be a smirk.
I feel like only an asshole would interpret it as that.
Not necessarily.
That's them projecting.
Individuals have different ways of expressing things. Some people are confident up their own ass and are smug assholes, which would look like that. And other people are awkward and don't know how to deal with things. And then usually it goes to comedy. Like people laugh in awkward scenarios to release tension.
This has a decent amount of context surrounding it. Like if you still think that he just did it as an asshole.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Externally from the actual scenario that's going on.
If you take away context?
I'm just saying, if you take away context, and then humans are malleable and certain things could be... For example, I could laugh like joy at a funny joke or a special moment that's hits my heart just right in my life. I could also be a psychopath and be laughing out of my mind like the Joker slicing someone up.
Those two look different.
They might.
They look different.
But my laughing might sound the same.
Yeah, it sounds the
same. That's what I'm saying. The interpretation without context could be different.
You got to look at it. Okay, you got to look at the smile and listen to the smile.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay,
I'm just saying. Human emotions being evoked depending on the context, or say in this particular question we're asking, without context.
Yeah, we're discussing without context.
Could be interpreted any way. Not knowing what the actual person's personality is.
Yeah.
But with context, yes, I agree. It was probably an awkward smile.
Especially with context, then, like I was saying earlier, if you think that was an asshole smile now with the context, then you're just an asshole.
Yeah, because if he was actually an asshole, I've met kids like that people are projecting onto him, and I've met kids like that, and they always have something back to say. They talk back super hard,
big time.
Or back in high school or elementary school, what they would do is just kind of mumble shout over you so you can't actually get a word in. So if the guy's banging the drum, then all the kids just go, you know what I mean, to drown him out.
Yeah, basically
that would be
just
an
not even
asshole
letting
thing
you
to do.
Get a word in.
Exactly, mocking. So
or he would have done a hoy ahoy.
Yeah, or that, and then put the hand on the head fucking.
Which would have been hilarious, but
yeah, but a
little too much.
Yeah, a little too much, and definitely not in his favor.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't work. He would not be able to sue anyone for $250 million.
Well, he's definitely not doing that now.
Well, only for Daily Mail.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's only for it's at the federal level, so it can be appealed, so they can go to the Supreme Court judge.
Okay.
So, and then the Supreme Court judge can. I don't think he asks for a retrial. I think the Supreme Court judge just looks at the same evidence.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to submit. I might be wrong about this, but at least in Canada, I think it works like this. You're not allowed to submit new evidence. He just looks at all the current evidence that was there, and then makes a decision based on that.
Okay.
But more likely than not, they agree with the previous judge. You know?
Yeah, generally.
Yeah. So
it's just they had it right the first time, except in special cases.
All right. Welcome to the Overtly Disagreeable podcast, where two assholes talk about nothing. We are your hosts, and my name is Ken, and this is Shane.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, fuck. So yeah, how was your week, man?
Pretty good. Work is unlike last week, where work was nice and smooth, and I just kind of cruised and did my job, and everything went smooth. This week was me just trying to fill in bullshit time for most of it. Friday.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to get paid to do nothing, but I'm Portuguese or half Portuguese, so there's this feeling in my blood always that's work. You know what I mean? That's why when I'm at work, I just keep working and I'll just keep going. I have to want to go home.
Yeah.
Necessarily to to stop myself from working. Otherwise, I feel like it's my responsibility to keep working, kind of deal.
Are you like me, where like if you're doing, like if it's slow and you're doing nothing, like you're worried that you're just missing something?
Well, not missing something, that like I don't like the feeling of faking work.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like some people can do that. I have just trained myself to not be able to fake work. Like if there's literally nothing to, like when I was working at EB Games and it's like there's no customers, there's no filing that needs to be done, there's no like fixing the whatever shelves, like on a Thursday there was nobody coming in, like maybe got 5-6 customers over the course of 5 hours. Jesus, you know what I mean? Like it's Thursday in Oak Ridge Mall, nobody's going there, right? So we would just stand around and talk. That seems a little more legitimate. But when I'm at my like labor job, which is what I'm doing now, like not doing something irks me, because that's like I just hear my like
you're
my
not
boss
earning it. You're not
exactly,
earning it.
Right? So like Friday, I had to wait like 3 hours for approval on a job because the customer wanted to come in and look at the stuff being printed.
What a pain in the ass.
I had to have it set up already, so they weren't waiting for me to set up the job, right? So then I had to set it up, go to lunch, kill time, killed another hour. Just as soon as I was like, everyone was telling me, okay, we're not going to wait for her anymore, she shows up.
Oh my God.
And then it was like an hour and a half of deliberating with her, and then right at the end of the day, like 4:35, maybe even 5:30, by the time that we actually got an answer, they finally approved the job. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go home. That's why I had to work today.
Yeah,
but like my week was kind of generally
I
that
wonder,
for work.
Is she paying extra for that?
I think
because she wasted like a couple hours of your time, right?
My bosses were talking about that, where it's like, we're just going to charge her next time. Like anytime, if you want to switch a color, if you want to come in, look at a thing, and then switch a color after we've already set it up, we got to charge you like 10,
yeah, like people can't just like change their mind like that for no reason. And I'm sure you guys are going to be fair with it. Like if no work has been done and they change their mind, then it's not as big of a deal, I suppose.
Yeah, sort of. But it's all like set up in time. Like my time is money, right?
Yeah,
you're paying me a decent amount.
I mean, you get paid the same, but your boss is probably going to be pissed off.
Yeah, because they're not making money off the time spending. But whatever. I mean, this is a slow month or a couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
So work wise, not too bad. I mostly avoided Smite for gaming to switch gears.
Purposely? So you're just like, I just want like a change of palette or whatever?
Not so much. It's just that the new update was coming out.
Okay.
And they did a bunch of reworks and added some new items and stuff like that. And whenever it's big patch day, it's always a fucking gong show, and all the tryhards come out to play.
Yeah.
So I just have I've just come to the point where like I never have fun on patch day or the day after patch, so I just skip the first 2 days after a huge patch.
All right. Okay.
Right. Just as a general rule with Smite.
I get what you're saying,
because it's not. I don't want to say toxic, because I don't want to throw that around all the time, but there's definitely a level of like I don't have fun on those days. So like Wednesday, I think, is when the new patch came out officially, and I didn't play that day. I played one game on Thursday and I lost.
And then you were just...
And then we just both tapped. And then yesterday we played a little bit. I think we played 3 or 4 games. I mostly played Rainbow Six for the week. Like yesterday, after I came home from work, I played Rainbow Six till like 11:30 last night, and then we switched to Smite.
Oh my God! So you like at 11:30, you're just like, all right, change games.
Yeah, really. Fuck. I did the reverse of what I normally do. Normally, I play Smite from like the time I come home, eat, and then I play Smite until like 11-12, and then I'll switch to Siege when everyone's tuckered out.
That's
of Smite.
pretty much it. I was gonna say it's because like it's easier to coordinate with everyone.
Yeah, and more people play Smite than Siege. So, and I like 5 stacks with both those games.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a lot more Siege. That's been fun. It's been good.
Fair enough.
Can't say anything about it other than that playing with people, we're getting better.
Well, okay, as long as they're shooting down cameras and not falling for the same trick over and over and over.
No, they're definitely getting better than that. I've been like telling them like every time we spawn, well, every other time we spawn or whatever, I'm like, cameras, guys. Just an easy reminder. And then, I might have to take out one camera now as opposed to all 3 exterior cameras.
Staying behind everyone just to make sure you get all the cameras that they run through or whatever.
Also, I try not to give them too much of a hard time. Like, last time they were falling into the same trap, this one dude is pulling the same shit off over and over again, but that's a outlying scenario. Okay. But I really want people to just get a good solid grasp of the core mechanics before we start doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to start doing strats and stuff like that. Do, like a 3-man squad and a 2-man squad, and then, pincer maneuvers and shit like that. Like the cool stuff.
Start like naming all your like
exactly
strats.
Like formations and shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be like football.
Oh man, it'd be so dope. But then I don't think that we're there yet, and I think mostly with the people that I play with, while we are good players generally within Smite or Siege, I think we're too chill to ever want to do those things. You know what I mean? Like Smite, everyone's like, let's still play a greasy team comp, right? Mm-hmm. And then like 2 people won't pick a greasy part of the team comp, and then we'll lose. Pick whatever they want. And it's like whatever. Like the other night when we played one, we had this one team comp. I can't remember whoever was in it. I was playing like Hades, which is my best god. And then someone was playing Artemis, and we crushed. We went like 21-4.
Jesus,
in
fuck.
Clash.
What? Okay.
And we crushed. I don't even think they took a tower, but we crushed. One of the guys is like, man, that was so good. I want to run that again. We've run it again. 2 people switch characters, and we lose miserably. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because that other team comp worked. Mm-hmm. You know, we went from having an Odin to having what was it, a Guan? I can't remember, but it wasn't an Odin.
I feel like Guan... I mean, I don't know what the rest of your team
comp wise. Remember, I'm a Hades, so if I have an Odin to follow up on a Hades,
I see.
They ain't going anywhere. Explode, alt. You know, there's much more combos Odin as opposed to Guan.
Yeah, Odin is great for that fucking setup, man.
Exactly, and it's quick cooldown. And then the other guy, like I can't remember what he originally played. It was a mage, but then he switched to Ao Kwang.
Oh, so that's a huge... Well, it's still a mage, but it's totally different.
Different gameplay. So you can see why like that didn't end up working as well. But like I said, I'm taking it pretty easy. I'm trying to play a little bit more because it's like a double... I mean, it won't be relevant when this podcast gets released, but this weekend is a double battle points booster. Right.
It's the end of the...
it's the beginning of the new one. Oh. Starting this weekend with a double battle points booster weekend.
I gotta see what the rewards for that one is, because the last one is usually pretty good.
It's a Hera skin.
Okay.
Where she's like kind of cyberpunky, and she's got a mech.
Oh.
Like she doesn't go into it, but she has a cat that jumps into the mech.
Oh, that's fucking
good. Like Diva, but with a cat. And she's on the outside, and she shoots a gun.
Did she have I don't know? Did she have a pet before?
I remember. Yeah, Argus is her pet.
Yeah, but you said she has a cat that jumps in.
Yeah, like as an additional feature.
Okay, so she never had a cat or anything.
No. This is just for the theme of the skin, where it's like cyberpunky, so we throw a cat in there.
I see.
Same thing with like. This isn't part of the battle pass, but there's a Kurno skin where he's a Tengu, where he's like a Japanese bird.
Yeah, okay.
And when he polymorphs you with the ult, you turn into like Japanese koi fish.
Oh, that's fucking dope. I love that.
So they do like little flares with that. So the battle pass, again, is a Hera skin.
That's the last one.
No, that's the first one.
Oh, first
start up. Just for buying the battle pass, level 1, you get Hera skin.
Oh, dope. Okay.
There's a recolor for the Candy Soul skin.
Okay.
There is the final reward, the real... Okay, there's an extended final reward for doing the battle pass twice.
Oh.
And that's a recolor of the Hera skin that you get at the beginning.
Is that normal? Do they?
No, they did it for this one.
Okay.
They did it a couple seasons ago with the season ticket with Thanatos, remember? They had that demonic Thanatos.
Yes, I know that one.
It was double the fantasy points.
Okay.
It was like you had to do the whole season ticket twice.
I did not know that.
To get the final reward. That was the demonic Thanatos.
That's fucking bullshit.
It's hard, but if you play enough and pop boosters all the time and play with 5 stacks, you usually do pretty good.
Okay.
Like for example, yesterday with a double points booster, I went from like level 1 to level like 15 or 16 in a night.
Okay, yeah.
Just from double like popping stuff, and we only played like 7 or 8 games.
Yeah.
So it goes by pretty quick. I'm trying to remember what the other skin is that's in the battle points booster.
I just want to know what the last one is.
Oh, it's a Nemesis skin. It's like a candy Nemesis skin where she's got like a... It looks like she's got like a pop rock sword.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And she's wearing like a kind of like a blue witch's brim hat.
Okay, all right.
Kind of more cutesy, less witchy.
I see.
She looks pretty hot.
All right.
And she's wearing like a blue dress or something. She looks pretty good. Not really the coolest skin, I think. I think the Hera one's a little bit better. And I always don't like the recolors because they're like just thrown in there to say that they have another skin, but it's not actually.
Just nothing, yeah.
God, I can't remember what the other one was. And I remember being okay, too. But anyways, there's another skin that you can get that's for a completely different character that's also...
I wish they would at some point just let us have color palettes.
Yeah, but then they would lose money on skins.
Yeah, not that much money because, like, they still, like, all the skins are fucking dope and there's actually, like, extra accessories and whatnot that you get. Like, the skin is a bunch of different accessories put together, right? Just having color palettes doesn't really take away from that.
Do you think it would work very well, though? Because, like, with something like DCU or Warframe, all of the armor sets have designated points of, like, you know... primary color, secondary color, tertiary color, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah,
the third one.
Tertiary,
and then like a highlight or something like that with the cape for Warframe.
Yeah.
But that's all standard for every item has that color palette built into it. But with Smite, it's like you can't really just choose. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example of a skin that has like multiple colors, because you would have to choose a color for every single slot.
True.
Right?
Like, it would have to be every single different.
And then you have to do it individually for each skin, for each, like, I guess you could preset color palettes and then inject them into every skin.
Yeah.
So if you really like, if you're like me and you're an edgelord and you really like red and black, everything could be red and black.
Well, if they can find a good way to define what primary, secondary, and tertiary.
That's the thing. I think that they didn't do that initially, so I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. Also, again, money.
Okay.
Because fucking recolors still get them banked.
A little bit. I'd imagine it's not a lot, because you could buy the recolors like with the
similar to what you're saying about the color palette swap. That's how they're making easy money. By it's like, hey, let's take this skin that was blue and gray, let's make it red and black.
They could charge for color palettes, though.
Yeah, that's true. That might be a little bit better if they do character-specific color palettes. That might work. Yeah,
if it was character-specific color palettes, I think that
they could probably sell
well.
Those. But so high res in 3 years when you run out of ideas and don't want to do any more skins, sell color palettes.
There we go.
Chumps will buy. How was your week?
Pretty shitty. Well, mostly just work related, because I'm always fucking working. I don't really talk about my work much, but like one of my crews, they have like a special vehicle that they use.
Yeah. Like work oriented vehicle.
Yeah, it's called a ladder truck.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a truck with like an extension on the top of it, where they have this like bucket thing in it that they can stand in.
Oh, like a cherry picker?
Yeah, like a cherry picker. Yeah, that's a good example. Or if people don't know what that is, think of like a fire engine, I suppose, where you could like stand at the very end of the ladder thing.
And then it extends.
And stuff. I mean, it's not as big as that, but so it goes up and down. So that vehicle like broke down on my guys twice.
What broke on it? Just like the...
I don't know what specifically, but like they were using it once in Surrey and once in Abbotsford, and it just like stopped working. Like they couldn't turn it on. It had to be towed back to the warehouse.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And that puts them out for a day, right?
Pretty much, which makes it so that they don't make that much money for the day, because they only get paid on what they do.
Well, what the job is.
Yeah. And then what is it? For me, in regards to me, that means my work isn't getting done.
Yeah, because it's getting backed up.
Yeah.
Not getting cleared.
And I have 7 day. I have to get almost everything out and completed in 7 days.
Okay.
And that includes the weekend, but nobody works the weekend, so I realistically have 5 days to get almost every job done.
You lose 2 days every week.
I lose 2 days every week, and now I lose a third day because of this, and then a fourth day because it broke again. So
is it the same vehicle?
It's the same vehicle.
Damn.
So because like it broke down once, and then the car mechanics get to the warehouse earlier than everyone else.
Okay.
And so I asked if they could prioritize like fixing that, and they did.
But they didn't fix it.
They said they did, and then when it went out, it broke down again. And so I was just like, okay, please do try to prioritize my vehicle again, but I'm not taking it out. Like, keep it in the shop for the whole day. I want a full fucking inspection done on this thing. And so they did a more thorough inspection on it, and they're like, oh yeah, there's so much shit broken in this thing.
Probably because it doesn't get much maintenance, because it's always being used.
It's always being used. Apparently it needed to go in for like a general checkup 3 weeks ago, and nobody fucking told me that. Like 3 weeks ago and last week and the week before that, I didn't actually even need to use it. I didn't have any job specific things that required it.
Yeah, so it was just sitting around.
They still drove it, right?
Okay, so there's being used as a transportation.
It's still being used for that, but like we have other vehicles they could have used for that purpose. Like they didn't need that. So if somebody had told me, we could have definitely had solved this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty salty about that.
Always is important.
Because like, it's not my job to keep track of like when vehicles need maintenance and shit. But apparently I need to start doing that.
Please CC Ken when engine light is on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Let me know. Let me know when anything's fucking, giving you problems, because I will fucking deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Which apparently nobody else does.
It's this type of thing when, I mean, I guess you guys are probably paid pretty decently, but the general thing with employees is always like, I'm not paid to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's like when I was told before a long time ago, like, I got to clean toilets. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not my job. Sorry.
I'm paid to sit here.
I'm paid to print t-shirts. I'm not paid to fucking clean toilets.
It's true, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm not getting pushed around like that. I'm a professional, sir.
Well, I mean, back to what you were saying earlier about like job and work. My philosophy has always been, just in general, like I try never to be ashamed of my job, just to be like, I just don't like it when I'm working but not doing anything where I feel like I should be earning money.
What do you mean?
Well, basically what you were saying earlier, where like you're on the job and you're getting paid, but you're not actually doing anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like. Like I don't like the feeling of not earning the money that I'm getting.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely feel like that. Yeah. Sometimes.
But like in terms of just jobs in general, like I don't fucking like. I try not to look down on any other kind of jobs. Like I've had people that I've worked with in my office here that I don't work with them anymore, but they like look down at like theater workers and shit.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I don't look down at individual jobs. Like I'm not saying that being a janitor's shitty. I'm just saying from the standpoint of the person that was hired to run a machine.
Yeah,
toilets ain't my job. That's just
hire somebody else
exactly,
to do that.
That's my opinion on that. But like back when I had one of my previous jobs where I was working at like a paint store and I was like a warehouse hand there, I had to clean toilets.
Yeah,
because it was just like a general labor thing, and there I was more accepting of it because I was also younger.
Yeah,
and it was disposable, so I was like, whatever, I'll do it.
Yeah,
but once I'm like now, like I said, a professional, as I like to call myself. I'm like, I have standards now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not cleaning toilets.
Well, I mean, if you were hired to do it, I'm sure
if I was hired to do it. But again, like EB Games, like I never complained about taking out the garbages for EB Games. Because why? Because I was hired to do a bunch of things. Like I'm a sales associate. I do everything. There's no way that EB Games is ever going to hire a janitor personally to come take their trash.
The EB Games is just going to hire a you do everything sort of person.
The fucking mall doesn't even supply someone to come and vacuum our carpets, even though we're technically renting their space. So we have to vacuum our own carpets and shit.
Really?
Like
They don't pay like for? Is that for all the stores or is
I
that
would assume it's for all the stores.
Okay.
I mean, maybe EB Game. Maybe there's like a premium level where you can pay for a janitor to come in and do your shit for you.
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah.
But like for us and EB Games, it was you do it because it's closing. It's like,
I wonder if that one's still open, the one in Oak Ridge Mall.
Oh, I'm sure it's still open, yeah.
I've not been to Oak Ridge Mall in, I want to say a couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe at least a year and a half.
Yeah, I feel like it's been about the same for me. Maybe 2-3 at this point.
You live closer to it.
Well, I don't really need to go there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like in the opposite direction of everything that I go. Downtown's the other way, and everything else is east and west.
It's a shame Landmark Cinemas isn't there anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That was a Landmark. No, wasn't it Cineplex Odeon?
Was it? I thought it was Landmark.
I thought it was a Cineplex Odeon.
Because I remember Cineplex Odeon doesn't have different prices than regular, like, Silver City, right?
Are you sure you're not just remembering it that was a long time ago? Because that theater was closed, like, 5-10 years ago.
I want to say closer to 10 at this point. I just remember it was cheaper than going to Metrotown, so I thought it was like something totally different. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was Odeon, but
might have also been before Cineplex bought all the other smaller ones, right? Because they went on a crazy spree like 5-6 years ago, just buying every theater.
Fucking little thing.
If it's somewhat profitable and it's not like Landmark, who I guess decided they didn't want to sell, they just started buying them all because now every theater is Cineplex.
Did I tell you, like, when I worked at Silver City Cineplex and they would send us emails every couple of months being like,
hey, we opened a new one, yeah.
Or just send us a list just being like, hey, it would be more along the lines of, we acquired all these theaters in Canada, and they say it as like an awesome email. Like,
well, because it's the growth of the company, and technically you're inadvertently benefiting off of it, I suppose.
But it's just from like a more, I don't know if moral is the right word, but from like, wanting to let the smaller businesses do good standpoint, like it's kind of demoral.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, oh fuck, like you bought all these fucking little theaters out.
Yeah.
And they are fucking aggressive, man.
Oh yeah, of course, because they want to have a monopoly on it. That's why, like, again, there used to be downtown, there used to be the Capital 6, and across the street used to be the Cineplex Odeon.
Yeah.
And then the Capital 6 shut down, the Cineplex Odeon went to shit, and then they closed that down.
There's Tinseltown too.
And then Tinseltown opened up at the tail end of those ones closing, and then Scotiabank and Cineplex came out and then bought International Village, and now it's a Cineplex too.
Yeah. And I remember at first when, and I might be wrong about this, but I remember when Cineplex first bought Tinseltown, or the mall itself, and then Tinseltown, whatever. The movies ended up becoming from like because Tinseltown would normally show like B-list movies, like they wouldn't show
foreign movies and stuff
and foreign movies. So when Cineplex first bought it, it ended up just showing like the brand new, like really big blockbuster movies, and then they reverted back to what it was formerly before it was bought.
I think they've come to like an equilibrium between the two, because I still see foreign films there every once in a while. Yeah. But there's also like big budget films that I see there. Like we went to go see Detective Pikachu there.
Oh, really?
So they have like
so
new
they still have
releases
new release
and
movies,
stuff like that. Like, of course, in this day and age, like if every single theater isn't showing like Endgame or something,
like
when
every
it came
theater
out,
needs to show Endgame.
Exactly. Like if you're unless you're like the cheap theater that gets a second run.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're probably showing Endgame, and if you're not, you're losing money. You know what I mean? So I feel like they've dispensed with that, making it just a theater for foreign and like indie films or B movies or stuff like that.
And I think, although slightly different point, I suspect theaters really hate movies like Endgame, like 3-hour movies.
Because it's not to turnover?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think if you're using turnover in the right way, because where basically going from like within a day how many movies you can show.
Yeah.
If a movie's 3 hours long, you can show fewer of it, right?
Yeah. Because you're losing like a half an hour in every movie as opposed to the 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah. Which is why I kind of want like Marvel to make like a 6-hour movie.
No, thank you.
Just release
my ass made it through Endgame and without hurting too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could do 6.
Oh man,
you need an intermission. That's a 3-act play, sir. You need a 15-minute intermission.
Put a fucking 1 hour intermission in there.
Too much. That's
I don't care.
Much.
I just want to piss off Silver City and other like big
spend more money.
Yeah, or make less money, right? Yeah.
Actually, speaking of intermission, this reminded me that before the Capital 6 actually shut down, back when it was in high school, we were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go see all 3 Lord of the Rings movies when the third one came out.
Okay.
And each one of those movies is 3+ hours long, right?
It's a long
and they only gave like a 45-minute intermission in between each movie. And we watched them all like consecutively.
Jesus Christ.
Like, well, both.
Was it a trilogy that they were playing, or was it just like
they played the Fellowship of the Ring, then they had a 45-minute break,
Jesus
then they played
Christ.
Two Towers, and they had a 45-minute break, and then they played Return of the King.
But what I'm asking is basically, was it one ticket to see all 3 of them?
Yeah, it was a special event.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it started. I don't know if you remember our animation teacher, Mr. Brett.
I remember Brett.
So I told him, I'm taking I think it was Tuesday. I'm taking Tuesday off, and he's like, "Well, what's that for?" And I'm like, "Because I'm gonna go see all 3 Lord of the Rings movies."
He was probably fine with that.
Like, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, fuck. I remember Mr. Brett and who was our film teacher? Forgot his name.
His name was also Jason, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
It was Jason Brett, and then it was. Oh god, I can't remember his name. Damn, he was cool too.
I really liked him.
Didn't we always have didn't we just call him by his first name in the?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I just remember there was one time where he kind of pissed me off, where he graded us poorly for a movie.
Probably because we didn't do a very good job.
But his criticisms were mostly like, I remember at the time thinking his criticisms were mostly due to the editing.
Oh yeah.
And then there was another movie that one of the other students submitted that did really shitty editing, like worse than us, where they didn't have sound at some parts.
And, I remember that. Yeah.
And he gave them a better grade than us, and I remember being really pissed off at that.
Yeah.
But, at the very least, we made it up by getting a grade for a movie we didn't even make.
Yep. I repurposed a completely different school project for another school project at the last minute, dude.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the story for that? I feel like you could tell the story.
I don't remember very much of it, to be honest. I just remember we had a school project.
We didn't do shit. We didn't do it.
We didn't do it at all. It was a music video.
Was it a music video?
I'm pretty sure it was a music video.
I don't remember that detail.
And we could have used any music. Like, he took off the whole copyright thing that he had banned for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you can use, for this music video thing, you can do any song you want, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't do shit.
Yeah, it was the day of.
It was the day of, and I took an animation that I did like the year before in animation class, which is a completely different course.
Yeah, it was you and somebody else that did it.
It was me, Ivan, and Darren, if you remember Darren.
I vaguely, I do.
But it was mostly Ivan and me and Darren who did the animation for it. Mostly Ivan, because he was really good at animation.
Yeah.
And I just removed the credits.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
It was
removed
so
the credits.
bad.
We handed it in under our name.
Yeah.
And then we got like a B or something.
Yeah, we got like a B or C, because it was animation. So even if it looked shitty, it's like he understands that the effort that was took to make this was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
right?
That's what he thought. Fuck. So.
Hey, that's the reason why we didn't have to take any cameras out.
Fuck, yeah, that's right. It solved all the questions and everything. Oh, man.
I still really wish that we had that first movie that we shot. The Trapped in the Closet.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember if that's what we called it.
I can't remember, man.
Yeah.
And then we did that, like, 3 Angels thing at the very end of it.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
It was short, sweet, and we got to the point. The joke was simple enough.
Yeah. And you know what? We put a lot of fucking effort into that movie.
Did.
Yeah.
And then I remember that we had like some people hanging out with us in there, and they wouldn't shut up. Yes. So then there was one part where you hear people like mumbling in the background. I'm like, fuckers, they fucking ruined my fucking movie.
I remember that part. And then we realized at the end of that year, with the exception of the movie that we bullshit that we just talked about now, the 3D movie, we had a reoccurring theme where I died in all of our movies.
Well, to be fair, that was me writing it a lot of the time. I don't even like the first one and the last one. I'll take major credit for because those were me like driving force for the story or whatever the main plot was going to be. I feel like maybe not the first one, maybe that was collective, but yeah, you dying was always me. Yeah, that was the first one. The second, the last project. The third one was nothing because it was a music video, and the second one was a garbled mess that nothing. I don't even remember what happened. Like if anything bad actually happened to you.
Well, we did.
The second one was the one where I went too crazy. And I wanted to do it was supposed to be a parody. Okay. Was our original
Right, yeah.
But we wanted to parody every genre possible.
I remember.
And we had some good ideas, but our execution was absolutely terrible, and it didn't come out well.
It was also not only terrible, there was a lot of fighting between you and the other guy, Steven.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Like you guys just could not collaborate for that movie.
That's why you need a director who is the director, and nobody, I'm going to say this now. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast before, but I can be charismatic, quote unquote, but no one will ever follow me like as in a leader position. Yeah. I've lived my life this long. I am not the leader of a group. I can't be. Like I want to be, not like as a goal of mine. I just mean like I look at an absent spot of everybody's looking for a voice to lead them, and I'm like, I could do that, but nobody ever listens to me. You know what I mean? Just by de facto. The only time people listen to me is when I sit on the sidelines and whisper in people's ears. Yeah, so I'm the
little tidbits of advice here and there.
Yeah. I'm the guy with the knowledge that doesn't do the action. I'm the guy with the plan, right? I've come to realize that. But in this particular scenario, this is why you need directors on movies and stuff like that. Well, and I've come to realize that I can't lead because no one will ever fucking follow me.
To your credit, because like I had worked with him on a couple of projects before that, because we were friends with him
for a while.
Yeah, and there were a lot of times where it was insanely difficult, and I love him. If he ever listens to this, I love you, Steven. You're still awesome. Just like even though I haven't seen you in like 10 years.
Sometimes you can't work with your friends.
Yeah, like there was some times where like I'd be like we were out doing a project or whatever, and I'd have to be like, come on, man, we got to do this, we got to do that. Yeah. Like, and it would be like literally like me like for half an hour at least just being like, we have to like get going
and get started.
Like he'd always like have this like super defeated feeling that's just like, oh, I just really don't want to work now.
Yeah. So I remember shooting some of the third movie. Like basically I would set up a camera in a stand, like what's it called? Not stale. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like still
position. Thank you. With no camera operator, hit record and then shoot the scene myself.
Oh, really?
Towards the end, nobody wanted to show up for shooting, and I was letting you off the hook because I like you and you're my friend. And you had already done enough work, and I knew you were going to help me with editing and stuff like that. But like, if I ever needed help with camera work, it was like towards the end, I just had to shoot stuff on myself.
The first movie, I think, was the one. Well, the third one, was that the one where you went crazy, or is that the one?
Yeah, that's the third one.
Okay, so the second one was the sadder movie, right? Yeah. So the first one I think is the one I like the best because not only did we do it, we, like you said, we had like a bunch of our friends who were like outside of the class help us out with that one too. And they were all pumped to just be
I
like,
think the fact that it was a short and we had a time constraint of like we had to do this joke in a minute. Yeah. Made it so that like I've come to realize in general that it's great to give people creative freedom, but it's almost better to put them in a box that they have to work within.
Yeah, have to be creative.
Exactly, you have to be creative within the box, as opposed to trying to be like with the second project where I was trying to go overly creative, and it becomes nothing but a garbled mess, right? But within that 1 minute box, it's like we have to get every story beat down in a minute. Yeah, 60 seconds.
What jokes do work? What jokes don't work? Okay, throw ones.
Cut the fat. Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like we hit like I feel like I can see in my head like at least 4 or 5 shots and scenes from that thing that basically tell the entire story.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like we did pretty good. That's why I want it so bad because I always think about it very fondly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fuck. it's a shame that doing that, even, let's say we could even do that nowadays. Let's say we had enough revenue from this podcast or anything.
We could just shoot it for fun, but...
Yeah, but like fucking skits on YouTube just don't fucking pull anything.
But I mean, I feel like I agree with the statement that that type of content doesn't really work well with the YouTube algorithm, but a lot of today is having a group of people already following you that support your content.
Yeah, and then just go from platform to platform.
And then follow you, and then also build off that base level audience. Like if we were to do it right now with nobody listening to the podcast, there would be no reason nobody would watch it, and maybe, you know, we might get 3 views over the course of a year of people randomly clicking on it thinking it was something else.
Yes.
Right? And maybe one of those people might actually appreciate and start listening to the podcast. Maybe. But if there were people listening to the podcast and then we did skits, probably it'd be a lot more successful.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
also, I just like doing stuff like that. Like, I still watch the Coke ad that Daniel did. Remember? Where you're dressed in white and you beat the shit out of me?
Yeah. With my really awkward kicking.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, I told you to go for it and you didn't go for it, but whatever. It is what it is now.
I still couldn't do it nowadays.
That's fine. You could do it.
There's no way I could do it.
I'll put a pillow on my back next time because I realized
you know what? That probably would have helped.
Yeah, exactly.
I really didn't want to hurt anyone, man.
But the throw is always good. That first throw.
I don't remember a throw.
Remember?
No.
I snorted a little bit of Coke off the table. It was like the first time I do it, and then you just come out of frame, push my head out of the seat.
I don't remember the scene.
Okay, I'll put it on YouTube. I think I privated the video, but I think I can pull it up on my YouTube channel.
That's funny. Okay.
Or no, it might not be. No, it's Under the Bridge that I made private because I'm actually kind of like self-conscious about how lame that is.
That one was your more serious movie.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think it's lame, because even in my edgelord status, I'm like, you know what? This is like edgelordy, but it's a dull edge.
I'm thinking back to that movie. It's a shit movie.
I still like it because it came from me, and it hit certain story beats that I wanted to do. But yeah, creatively, it's very underwhelming.
You went from like your Jim Carrey, I want to do comedy phase, to like your serious movie phase within the span of like a month.
This will probably come up over and over again throughout this podcast if it continues, but grade 12 was not a good year psychologically for me.
Yeah, a lot of shit was going down with you for that year.
Yeah, I did not handle a lot of things very well, and I wish that I could go back to grade 12 and fix that.
Nobody is going to fucking... Grade 12 was already enough of a hassle under ideal conditions. Nobody's going to fucking do it good.
Yeah, but I could have personally, like, I'm not even saying academically, like, I don't even care about that. I just mean, like, how I treated certain people, how I acted, how I reacted to things. Like, it just wasn't good. Like, compared to how I went from where I felt like a god comparatively in grade 11, where everything was great, and then grade 12 came along and I still had that same feeling, and then the year just started on a high and then just went on a fucking hard roll down.
You gotta lose that narcissistic complex of yours.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, what's narcissistic about it?
I felt like a god.
Well, I'm just saying, comparatively...
And then I still felt like that, it still went downhill.
saying, in comparison to how I felt in grade 12, in grade 11, I felt like I was on top of the world.
Yeah.
I guess if you want a better... whatever
analogy?
Hyperbolic analogy of my life. But grade 11 felt great. I felt like I was doing things right. I was energetic. I was living life. And then grade 12 came, and it was just like... I rode that grade 11 high up until the beginning of grade 12, and then everything started just taking a shit. By the time that like Christmas rolled around, it was my life was toast in grade 12.
And if you didn't feel shit in grade 12, it would have happened later in your life. So don't worry about it.
But it certainly carried me into this part of my life where I just feel miserable a lot of the time.
Oh, whatever. So do I. Yeah.
I've become exactly what I wanted. Sarcasm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I thought like you're like going to make like a more edgelordy joke there.
No.
I've become the edge in the edgelord. Okay.
Oh, did you want to... So, okay, I was trying to, and this is going to be a segue for you to find what you want to actually talk about, but I've been trying to think about it more since you've been bringing a lot of the news stuff, and that's what you want out of the podcast, and I want the podcast to be more like light conversational and gaming related, but unfortunately...
This is mostly a bit.
Yeah, I know, but it's news related. We usually talk about news and topical stuff, and I don't mind engaging with that, but I figured... that if I want something in the podcast, I should start injecting it.
Fucking do it. Yeah.
You need to start playing games though, so I can actually talk to you about stuff that we haven't played. That we're playing now, and not that we played 10 years ago.
I'll let you know in like 5 months.
Great.
Okay.
Great. I'll be waiting as a fucking skeleton collecting cobwebs. But I was thinking I'm gonna try to think of more gaming stuff. If I have to do gaming news, I'll do that maybe.
Okay.
But I was gonna say like there's a lot of things going around about how like loot boxes is gambling and stuff like that. And I watched.
I disagree with that statement.
I disagree too, but I disagree from a standpoint of pretending that I'm EA.
Oh,
trying to defend my right to sell kids loot boxes. And I will agree that the statement that it's gambling is a very like base level statement and doesn't actually represent the idea of loot boxes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's hyperbolic as well.
It is, but it's trying to get a point across because nobody wants gambling for kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I've always been saying, like, lately, that I look at it like an arcade, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to and I'm going to use this as an example, but it works for everything. You're going to the PlayStation arcade. Mm-hmm. When you go to an arcade back in the 90s, what did you have to do? You took cash, dollars, and you put it into a machine and you got tokens.
Yeah,
tokens translated to spending at that particular location. You couldn't take the token and go to another arcade. You couldn't go to the outside and sell it to a homeless person for real money.
No.
It had no cash value. It was only valuable for the money and time you spent at the arcade.
Yeah.
Which means that if you overspent on tokens, you better save those tokens and come back later, right?
Yes.
Same thing with PlayStation. I buy a $25 Sony card. That $25 goes directly into the PlayStation store and can only be spent on PlayStation-related games, whether it's a game that Sony didn't make, like with Smite.
Yes.
Right? But that money stays in the quote-unquote arcade.
Yes.
The PlayStation arcade.
The money has been spent. The money does not exist anymore.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And the problem, I think, with people equate the gambling thing is like when parents are fucking morons and give their kid access to their credit card or some bullshit like that. Or it's too easy. Like, for example, one of the people I watched was using the example that Habbo Hotel, you could call a hotline and it would charge it to your phone.
Oh my fucking God. Are you serious?
But kids could do it.
Yeah.
So she was charging her parents like phone
lines.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably made it obscure on purpose. Exactly. That I disagree with. That's bullshit tactics. But in the sentiment of this, where it's like, if I'm let's say 15-year-old kid, I might have a job, I might not, I might get an allowance, whatever. I go to 7-Eleven, I buy a $25 Sony card, I put it into the thing. No, I can't spend any more money than the $25 that I've already spent.
Yeah.
Right? And then I spend it on the games that I want. And in regards to loot boxes with its randomness being gambling, it's not, because you could say the same thing with Pokemon cards. Just because you don't get the thing that you want doesn't mean that it's gambling.
Yes.
It just means that there's a luck involved with it. And if that's gambling, if loot boxes is gambling, then Pokemon cards is gambling. Because every kid would want a Charizard and no kid got Charizards from fucking booster packs.
I would argue, although I'm fairly certain this is not the definition of gambling, but I would argue that in order for it to be considered gambling, there should be a chance that you get nothing out of it, which does not happen with loot boxes.
Exactly. You always get something.
You always get
That's
something.
That's a good point too, right? So you always get something. It might not be the thing that you want, but you are guaranteed certain things, especially with certain games now where they tell you, like Apex does it, and Smite tells you what's in the chest, but not your chances of getting them. But Apex will tell you, like, you roll this chest, there is a 10% chance on a legendary, a 80% chance on a common, and a 10% chance on a whatever else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just making up numbers, but they have those percentages. So the consumer, whoever it may be, might be a little bit more informed and make a better decision. I doubt it deters very many people. I mean, I get deterred when I see the high-res ones because I'll be like, I don't want that one, that one, that one, that one. I only want one skin.
I only want that one.
I'm not going to roll this 8 times to maybe get the one. You know what I mean?
So this is a dope-ass skin.
Unless it's a dope-ass skin, but in which case, like, I'll try to roll it, and if I don't get it within the first 2 or 3, I'm done. I tap.
Yeah, and also, like you were saying, you know, the fact that money's involved. In gambling, you win money directly. In video games, you don't. I'll say that there's a chance you could get money, because if there's a way you could sell skins or whatnot.
There are games that you can
CSGO,
do that. Yeah. Which are technically illegal among the terms of service, but people find a way.
But the gambling in that regard comes from like the underground,
the community,
not the actual
developers.
Game.
No, I get that, and that's what I agree with. So I keep saying whenever we watch news articles, like gaming news articles at my place or whatever, and they're always like gambling's like for kids, like loot boxes is gambling and that's for kids and that's bad and stuff like that. I'm like, EA, hire me. I hate you, but I will defend your right to sell loot boxes to kids.
Hey Shane, did you know a box of chocolates is gambling? You don't know what flavor
That's not true. Pot of gold, you always get the same ones. It's just a different collection. You always know what you get. They have the little like thing on the inside of the box. It tells you got 2 caramels.
I'm going to take that away from you, okay? I'm going to take away the legend or whatever it is. I'm just going to give you a box of chocolates, all right? And at that point, if you take any of those, it's gambling.
I like my Pokemon card analogy better, but yeah, sure, okay.
All right? fucking gambling. Is there any other fucking gaming news that you want to bring?
Actually, that was the only one on the top of my head. I had a kind of like gripe or something that I wanted to go talk about, but I don't really need to talk about it this time, this particular minute. So if we need to fill for more time, I'll talk about it. But
I mean, if you ever want to bring in gaming news, I usually know enough about what's going on in the gaming.
Yeah, it was just a thought I've been having over the last week when I've been trying to think of things that I should be injecting more into the podcast as opposed to just sitting on the sideline. Yeah, and injecting personality.
Yes.
My side of the personality
there
into the thing.
Yeah,
so,
thank you for that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Apparently I'm a robot.
That's fine.
I just come here.
You're an edit machine, that's fine.
I'm going to be the pretty face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. I'm the pretty face.
Yeah. Well, when we see the artwork,
audio podcast.
When we see the artwork of our cartoonish selves, we'll find out who's who.
Fuck you.
It'll be like when I first started watching Two Best Friends, and I thought the two guys were flipped. Their visual, because I never see them, right? Who, right? Yeah. I never saw them, so I was just pairing up voices, and I'm like, that guy sounds like that thing, and that guy sounds like that thing. Apparently, I was completely wrong. So.
See whoever only listens to the audio stream, see if they can guess who's who.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Actually, that's not. Okay. I would still try that, but I think my comments calling you a fat ass all the time will make it kind of obvious.
That might be making it clear. So, yeah. Oh, damn. Well, you already fucked it up.
Yeah, okay. Too late. I'm not dropping the fat joke for the one little segment of someone guessing whose voice is who. Sorry, Ken. I'm not giving up on comedy for that.
Look, you got to drop the fat jokes. I got enough on my plate. Okay?
Yeah, I'll bet.
All right. Well, do you want to play my game?
Sure, if you want to go into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that, or I thought you said you had a trigger or something that you want to talk about.
I usually save that for the end.
Okay, go for it. Do your news article shit then.
Let's see if you can remember the thing that was irritating you that you mentioned just like a minute ago. You said there was something that was irritating you or something like that. I can't.
I think I was just saying that. I think I was
just in general about the
loot boxes thing, because it's you can go ahead and look at your thing and prep it or whatever. I'll keep rambling for a bit, but with the loot boxes thing, it really comes back to my initial concept of Pokemon cards. You know what I mean? A kid could walk into a 7-Eleven or wherever, collector's den or whatever, a store that sells trading cards.
Yeah.
And it's like, you buy a booster and you get what you get.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's it.
And to further that point, how many times did we go into Collector's Den and you see some fucking 15-year-old kid buy a whole fucking crate? And rip all the boosters right there and then just throw the ones on the table that he didn't even want.
Didn't even care. Yeah,
he's ripping it for one. Yeah. And then I was saying to our mutual friend Mel, I'm like, and I saw when we were there that a kid would do that. He would buy a whole crate. He would rip every booster. And then he'd sell the most rare card back to the fucking shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
to make money on the spot.
I wonder if he made money off doing
Probably.
That. Oh shit!
But Collector's Den didn't have to rip all those packs.
Yeah,
they just they just imported it and then made money off the booster pack and then it gave the guy a little bit of money back theoretically, right? And then they can upsell the card for what it's actually worth.
And
then be for all the people that are normal patrons, stuff like that. So that's how crazy that is. You tell me that's not as crazy as loot boxes? I'm sorry, but that kid spent way more on that fucking one crate.
Yeah.
Than anyone spending on loot boxes.
Loot boxes are way better value than trading cards.
I would agree. Yeah.
In terms of trying to get what you want, not in terms of the value of the product. Okay,
the value of getting something that you actually want, as opposed to not getting it.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Well, as long as we're on that, I remember because you mentioned that. I remember there's this one time, and I'm sure you know this because we've probably mentioned it to you. This was in Yu-Gi-Oh. This is back when we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and Dark Arm Dragon was the card that you had to have.
Yeah, it was the shit.
Yeah, and me and our mutual friend Wes went to the collector's shop. I forgot what it's called. I think they only sold trading cards on Granville Street.
Yeah.
And
the connection.
The connection. Yeah, thank you. And there was these two or three guys there, and they have this table open with 3 boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, trying to get that one card. They had not pulled a single one or something. I might be exaggerating.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. I remember.
At the very least, it was one box. Wes goes, he buys one pack,
he
gets the fucking card.
Yeah, I remember that. It was such an upset.
Yeah. Everyone,
fucking got it. You just feel the air in that place. It's so salty.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Did Wes end up keeping that one, or did he end up selling it? I can't remember.
That guy just had like naturally good luck with that kind of shit. Like even when we played Diablo, he just had these like really good polls, man. Like I don't get it.
Natural luck skill. I feel like I have that, but yeah, he definitely pulled that shit out more often.
Yeah, he did.
With the cards thing especially. I have terrible luck with cards and stuff like that, getting what it rips.
I mean, it might be that he also bought more often, but like I feel like he did just have more.
I remember that specific scenario where there was like 2 or 3 dudes, they all bought a crate each. They were ripping the fuck out of it. He bought 1 booster pack.
Yeah.
Maybe he bought 2.
Yeah, something like that.
And he ripped that Dark Arm Dragon like first or second rip.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
All right.
So, what does the news have for us today?
Okay. 4 articles. I was going to go with 3, but they all ended up being like, they're literally like less than half a page each article, so I figured we'd
go through them pretty quickly. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto to ban black criminal video game characters.
Wait. Okay, go hit that one again.
Okay. Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto to ban black criminal video game characters. So basically,
I don't think that article's title was written properly because Rockstar makes Grand Theft Auto. But okay,
it's kind of awkward.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Also, fuck you, CJ for life.
No, man, you're racist for liking CJ. Okay, he perpetuates black like a negative
totally
black
stereotype.
True. Okay, all right. No, man. Bishop says homosexuality passed on to the unborn when pregnant and women enjoy anal sex. Jesus Christ, it's a long title.
That doesn't make any sense because if it's a woman, she's gonna be a lesbian and she doesn't. I mean, maybe has anal sex because she has a strap on with her partner, but that's a fucking bit of a stretch. Okay.
Well, no, like they're saying homosexuality is past when women enjoy it in general. So like even if a dude is giving it to a woman.
I thought so it's not that you're passing on your gayness to your child. You by doing sodomy
sex,
is passing on homosexuality to your child.
While you're pregnant. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Walmart mistakenly makes toddler happy birthday loser cake.
Happy birthday loser? Like the name was instead of Gabe was like loser?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And then woman walks into large glass window thinking it was an open doorway. Sues Kroger for $1 million.
Oh. Fuck. Okay, run down one more time from the top.
All right.
I gotta hear them all again.
These are very long titles, and I did not think about that when I first got them.
Well,
don't reading them out.
Don't curate. Just pick good titles.
Okay,
pick good articles because that's more important. I feel like I can deal with the long titles. Also, it fills time.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto to ban black criminal video game characters.
Okay.
All right. Bishop says homosexuality passed on to the unborn when pregnant women enjoy anal sex.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not even when they're doing it. I
was gonna have an anecdote about what if they didn't enjoy the anal sex? What if it was just like something they were trying out for the first time and they were like, that's not for me. Well, so I guess a no homo for the baby.
If the baby says no homo beforehand, then it's okay.
Baby's first words, no homo.
While in the womb.
Okay.
Yeah. Woman mistakenly makes toddler happy birthday loser cake.
Okay.
And then woman walks into large glass window thinking it was an open doorway. Sues Kroger for $1 million. I'm believing you. Which one is fake? I should explain the game before I do it next time.
Yeah, if you want to start introducing it more, that's fine. That could work. Well,
while you think about it, let me just introduce it.
Go for it.
Okay. So everyone, this is a game that we play where I bring in 3 to 4 articles and one of them is fake. You, the audience, and Shane here have to figure out which one is fake.
Okay. I want to say the fourth one is... this is not my final answer. I'm working through it.
Yeah,
I want to say the fourth one is the fake one.
Okay.
But the third one sounds too, bullshitty.
You don't think that's something a bishop would say?
No. The third one's a loser cake.
Right. Yeah,
that sounds like you have to go out of your... you have to be really fucked in the head to be so stupid to think that...
while you're writing it out or something like that.
Yeah, you have to be writing that shit out by hand. You know what I mean? Or even typing it or something like that. So that's going to be my end answer, but I'm going to work through everything else. The bishop one sounds pretty legit because it's like some out of touch fucking priest who's never gotten a dick.
Yeah, that's
not a baby child.
Yeah.
You probably would say something like that. The first one, the first one sounds kind of bullshitty too because why would they ever
It's fucking Rockstar, right?
It's Rockstar, yeah. That one sounds bullshit too. So if that's the one, then it must be some like a hot take from a journalist who's like, I heard that Rockstar is going to be doing this kind of thing, but it's not actually official, because Rockstar would just come out with a public statement like that.
Well, there was that quote-unquote journalist from, I want to say last year, a year and a half ago, who said that Rockstar promotes rape because, like, you can attack women.
Oh, that was from a few years ago, but yeah, it was, that video games, or GTA in particular, promotes rape because someone was harassed online.
Yeah, and then they show, like, something where you have to use a mod to do, but, like, a thrusting animation where characters could... Or I guess maybe not a mod, because GTA 5 that has lots of tools for you to...
Emotes and stuff like that, yeah.
So, but then they're saying because GTA 5 had that thrusting animation that it was, again, like promoting sexual assault or rape or something like that.
Because it was like... Oh, no, what it was they hacked her game to hold her in a position.
Oh.
And then they did thrusting motion by...
It's probably not even a hack. It was probably a bug or something.
It was a bug that they exploited, yeah. Okay. The first one sounds pretty legit for bullshit. Mm-hmm. For bullshit, I'm saying.
Yeah, for bullshit. It's a double negative.
But I feel like the third one's just so egregiously like again, the hot coffee thing and then suing Starbucks. Like, again, that sounds like the Kroger thing where it's like, I walked in the glass. It's your fault because you cleaned the glass too good. Yeah.
The hot coffee one, it was McDonald's. Oh, sorry, I looked into that one and she had like legit 30
Yeah, no, I heard about that. That it was actually legitimately overheated.
Like, it was way overheated.
But she, whatever. That's a years out. Who gives a fuck? She won. Good for her.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the third one.
The third one?
I'm going to say that the loser cake is the actual fake article, and everything else is just like skirting the edge of being fake.
Okay, is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Okay. You're so close. It was the Rockstar one.
It was the Rockstar one? It sounded pretty legit too, because Rockstar doesn't really back down from shit like that.
No,
like,
they don't.
They go for the like stereotypes and curbing your expectations. CJ's pretty cool, even for a guy who's like portrayed shitty in the ghetto and stuff like that. Yeah, he's done pretty good for himself, and he's portrayed pretty well, and people remember CJ pretty fondly.
He's a pretty well written character.
And same thing with oh god, I'm forgetting his name right now in the fifth one.
I never played it, so I don't know.
Oh, well, it's Michael, Trevor, and I forgot the black guy's name. Shit. But yeah, he was pretty cool too. He was like down to earth, and they played him pretty straight.
I've never played a Grand Theft Auto game story. Like, for me, it's always been a sandboxy game.
Oh,
Like, I've just had fun.
For the most part, that's me too. Yeah, I think I might have played like half of like 4, 3. No, not 3. San Andreas, 4. And 5, I played about half the story each, and then stopped.
Yeah,
and then just played sandbox.
And I'm glad Rockstar understands the concept of like letting people just do what they want. Because like in the past games, they had like cheat codes, so you get whatever vehicle you want to use, right?
Or create storm weather, or turn all the pedestrians as ninjas.
They fully understand like what a sandbox game like should be. But like if it was under like EA or something, they would like charge you DLC to have an unlockable option to get whatever you want.
Or wait till the end of the game for you to finish it 3 times to unlock a certain special mode that by the time you don't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah. So, good on Rockstar. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
As a socially conscious video game publisher, already right off the bat, like if I had read that line,
this is why you don't read the articles. I always want to read them too, like for the titles, because sometimes it sounds like word salad coming out of your mouth, but like. Okay, go ahead.
No, fair enough. Maybe next time what I'll do is I'll try to just get like a clip or something of like each article and just lay it in front of you as well, so you can at least read it too.
I mean, this might not work, but like fold, because the titles are usually at the top.
Yeah.
Just do a fold.
Okay. Yeah.
So the rest of the article is like face down, but then I can see the titles.
That should work.
And then you can still read them, but then that way I can you can put them on the table so I can read them after you're done reading them.
Yeah, that way you can actually physically touch it and say this one too.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything for the audience, but that's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. First, okay. So as a socially conscious video game publisher, Rockstar has been championed as one of the first companies to create a black main video game character.
That's straight up bullshit, but okay.
Yeah. I think they might be the biggest to do it. Like, who did it before Rockstar that was noteworthy?
Black lead character. Jesus.
Because I'm sure it exists.
I sound like such a fucking racist because I can't think of a single one.
Yeah, I can't think of a single one.
I'm only thinking of side characters like Coltrane and shit like that.
There we go. I'm sure they existed, but I think Rockstar might have been the first big publisher to do it.
Consistently, yeah, or they always have like black representation of characters. Yeah. To be fair, theirs are more grounded in reality and usually in like
part of it is
what is it called, criminal.
Yeah.
So like they definitely have some level of that.
Well, anyways, I'm going to continue.
Go for it.
This was celebrated in the early 2000s as a victory for POCs, and it definitely was at the time. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. Let's see. However, as social justice awareness grew over the years, it was realized by many that the black criminal main character of Grand Theft Auto, CJ specifically, was helping to further racial stereotypes as well as become the perpetrator of racism against POCs. So basically saying because, they portray him as a thug, then that's promoting violence against people of color.
All right.
Which I hate the term people of color.
I hate that term too.
It's such a vague term because like most of the time people use it to refer to black people, but it doesn't actually mean black people.
It means anyone that's not white.
Yeah, it's basically
and not Asians.
Not white.
Not Asians.
Not Asians anymore.
Not any variations of Europeans.
Yes,
even though technically they're not all quote unquote white, but they just have pale skin.
I don't even know if I count as a PLC anymore because I have heard some people.
Well, you know why?
Because I'm white.
No, because you're not part of the Muslim faith.
Oh yeah, that's
you don't have your Muslim barrier up.
How would this ever allow a child to see POCs as well-rounded, smart, and capable individuals?
Yes, because being a successful criminal doesn't require any intelligence, right? That's why
was a smart character.
That's what I'm saying. So, God.
Well, it's a fake article.
I'm getting salty about a fake article. Go ahead.
Okay. Black characters will no longer bend to the gamer's will when asked to steal a car or punch someone on the street who doesn't deserve it.
No, dog, I ain't doing that.
Yeah,
I pay taxes.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
Instead, they respond with "I pay taxes." Instead, he will gently remind the player that he is not a criminal and find a better way to solve the problem.
Get another black person to break into him, bring him the car for him.
Get a white person to do it.
That's even better.
Yeah, because you can perpetuate negative white stereotypes.
It's true.
Yeah.
Those honkies.
This is the last part I'll read. This revolutionary new style of POC gaming will help young white people to come to terms with their racist expectations of black main characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness that's a fake article. That's one less reality I don't have to live in.
That was by NPC Daily. Normally the fake article is actually the hardest one for me to find because most of them are like super out there or something, like
the Onion where it's like fucking sleeping with they literally had an article where it's like sleeping with an onion could relieve your stress or something like that. Yeah. It's fucking wacky.
It's super out there. Okay. So the other one you said was the loser cake. This is how long this article is. It's literally like somebody got paid to write this.
Jesus Christ.
It's like 5 lines or something.
It's literally 5 bullet points and maybe 6. Yeah. Jesus Christ. The title's almost longer than some of those.
I know, right? Let's see.
That's a real article too. Fuck you.
Real article, yeah. A mother in Mississippi was shocked to see the birthday cake Walmart had created for her 2-year-old daughter named Lizard. So her daughter's name is Lizard, okay? So
okay, at least it was somewhat close, but loser is not the same vowel. Does not have the same vowels as Lizzie. So go.
Just I like what you're saying is right. Like somebody writing that had to. I feel like I would have just called the customer up and just been like, hey, what's your kid's name again?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I have it right here. I want to make sure I have the spelling right.
I'm trying to think, even in cursive, writing a Z, an I and a Z, even if you were really trying, wouldn't look like an O and an S.
Wouldn't, not even close, no.
Fucking idiots.
So happy birthday.
And then people want $15 an hour. This is my conservative side coming out, being like, you want $15 an hour and you can't spell Lizzie, motherfucker? Go fucking back to school.
Once we're done this game, I want to talk about the fucking minimum wage issue.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
In fact, that should have been done earlier.
Whatever, this is good. No, just transition. Segue.
The baker, who apparently misheard the girl's name, designed the cake to read "Happy Birthday, Loser," which is fucking hilarious. I gotta just get that for somebody at some point in my life now.
Yeah, not a kid, but yeah.
So thank God the mother has a sense of humor, right? At first, I was kind of taken aback and speechless, but after the shock, I was a mess laughing. So it's good. It's
okay,
a good ending.
It had a somewhat happy ending.
Yeah. The family still ate the cake after taking a photo that has now gone viral, showing the birthday girl looking at the loser cake rather sadly.
I wonder if they set that up to be like, look sad.
They could have. Yeah, definitely. That's the first time I've read the entire article.
Yeah, well, it's not much when it's fucking 6 bullet points.
You and I should try to fucking get like a job at this place.
Yeah, man.
I could write like fucking 10 of these a week with everything I'm doing.
It's kind of shit where it's like fucking what I was saying before, where it's like I know that's not like hard journalism, but it's like people who just fucking become journalists and then think they have journalistic integrity right off the rip. And then the other thing that really pisses me off about journalism nowadays is people need to put like, at the end where they're like who the author is. Yeah. It's like, I am a queer person of color. It's like, I don't need to hear that kind of bullshit for you to write a fucking article. I don't care about your skin tone and who you're fucking at the end of the night. It's for your fucking opinion. It's not even your opinion. It's supposed to be non-biased. You're supposed to be reporting the news.
Usually, if they say that at the bottom, chances are they're biased.
Yeah, exactly. It's well, I mean, there's a good chance that it is, because it's like you're taking something that's completely irrelevant to what your job is. Yeah. You being black or Latino has nothing to do with you writing an article, almost always.
Yeah, completely worthless characteristics.
Yeah, like even under the guise that people have where it's like only black people can talk about black culture stuff, which I already disagree with, because I think there can be anyone of any culture that can appreciate someone else's culture and just be as knowledgeable, if not more knowledgeable than people who are just in the culture without being educated in their own culture. Like that could happen too, but people totally fly by that with the idea that black people or Latino people are the masters of their own culture, pretty much, regardless of how level their expertise or understanding of their own culture is.
You know what? There's that like white savior complex now that like, if you're a black person and you like Trump and you vote for Trump, then you'll have white people saying like, "Oh, you're actually a coon. You're
allowed to be racist against those black people because they're not on your side." It's like
it's not racism at that point. They're bigots, so it's okay to hate them.
It's okay to hate Klansmen and fascists and Nazis,
including all those black clans. Yeah. I still have to watch that movie.
Oh yeah, we do. I need to watch it too because we never got around to it. But I think it might be on Netflix or.
Oh shit! Well, if it is, then we should catch it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the other two.
All right. So this bishop has figured out how homosexuality occurs, as we discussed, using the power of science.
Yeah.
So the bishop says homosexuality passed on to the unborn when pregnant women enjoy anal sex.
I still say you can just solve this problem, ladies, if you just don't enjoy the anal sex.
Just have anal sex but hate it. I think that might be rape.
Well, no, because you're still consenting to it. You're just trying it. It's like me eating pineapple. I did it. Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough. Homosexuality is usually a problem transferred to the fetus when a pregnant woman has anal sex and enjoys it. The bishop of Morphu Nephotis, I can't pronounce that, said during a recent speech. LGBTI rights group accepted, said on Thursday. So the LGBTI rights group,
JKLMNOP.
Yeah, thank you. And the name of that group is called Accept. Had reported this, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember something that I wanted to talk about.
Okay. It is usually a problem which is transmitted by parents to the child. So, if your parents are, if you don't want to be gay, tell your parents before you're born not to have anal sex. Yeah. Or at the very least, if they do, then tell your mom not to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're a womb, you'll see where that dick is coming from, and just give your mom.
I'm telling you, it's probably he's probably not saying it, but it's probably two lesbians, and it's probably a dildo.
Okay, so I was gonna bring up the issue with lesbians because I'm just like, how would they do it? Then you're right, the dildo or strap-on or something. But like, I guess
we live in an age of technology. Anything is possible.
Somebody needs to test this out. If there's a couple out there that's pregnant, you guys need to have anal sex and then report back to us if your child turns out gay.
We also need another control group.
We do need a control.
The exact opposite of that.
Yeah. Well, we need 3 groups. Okay, so we need a group of people where the woman where they have anal sex and the woman enjoys it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and a group where they have anal sex and the woman doesn't enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you.
And then a group where they don't have anal sex.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just compare the gayness of the children. We'll get our gaydar out and measure it and everything.
20 years, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
How gay?
All right. We're gonna run this study. See if the bishop's theory here is accurate.
He's fucking dead and rotting before we actually get the information. They laugh in his face for being wrong.
Let's see. In a comment on social media, the rights group joked, "How are lesbians created?" Which, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, gay lesbian. At this point, I'm just gonna say it's the same thing.
Yeah.
In regards to this article, under the video, which has been shared widely across social media, people commented with other jokes poking fun at the bishop. I did not see this video, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what jokes there were. I probably should have looked into it and just stolen some of those jokes for the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of clever people out there, and I'm not one of them. So, woman walks into. I'm just gonna let go of this because my phone is kind of here. There we go. I have a little binder that I read out of, but I'm just taking it out of there. Woman walks into a large glass window thinking it was an open doorway. Sues Kroger for $1 million dues.
Really? I just usually feel like an asshole.
Yeah, I usually feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't just blame the store.
Like, ow, my head hurts, and I feel like a jackass.
I'm just gonna say her name. Anna Robb filed a complaint on June 22nd, alleging negligence.
The glass was too clean. Negligence.
That must be it, yeah. The suit alleges Robb was about to exit the building and was walking through what she thought was an open doorway. Instead, the lawsuit states it was actually a floor-to-ceiling window.
Bitch, you need glasses. That's what you need.
That's fucking, I don't know. Or to learn to fucking pay more attention. Maybe she was fucking on her phone or something.
Yeah, maybe looking down.
Oh my god.
Distracted walking. New fines are coming.
Man, I want to know what lawyer she went to for this, because, like...
Any lawyer, dude. Any lawyer who thinks they could actually pull that shit off.
Yeah, but, like, lawyers... I don't know how they get money. I don't know if they get money for just the representation.
Bono,
okay.
Where it's like, you only get paid if you win the lawsuit. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with class action lawsuits, where it's like, some people just take up any, like... The thing with the Nintendo Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I
where
remember.
Like they're having a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
When that shit happens and you get your payout, it's like $5-10.
Yeah, my $5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the lawyer will make a decent amount.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why they take those.
Let's see. Robb says she walked into the window, causing injuries that led to physical pain, suffering, and impairment. More. Okay.
Yeah, to your ego.
Yeah, I don't know. To your fucking brain. Disfigurement and medical expenses.
Oh, okay.
She walked into
Well, I'll say this. It's America, probably. So medical expenses, I'll at least give you that one, lady. But everything else is your fucking fault.
The worst case scenario is maybe like a broken nose, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I really can't imagine more than a broken nose. And that's if you're walking pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Robb seeks between $200,000 and $1 million in monetary relief.
Yeah, good fucking luck with that. You might get $10,000 in a fucking gift card.
Monetary relief, interest and court costs and all other equitable relief, which is just, is code word for anything else I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking, like, what a dumb bitch. Or smart bitch. I don't know. Maybe she's doing this all
If she gets away with it, smart bitch. If she doesn't, and I'm leaning towards that, dumb bitch.
I'm hoping she doesn't. If she gets away with this and the Covington kid lost his fucking lawsuit, I'm going to fucking flip a table.
Justice is blind, sir. She judges all individually. And there is no bias, even though there's totally humans who are completely biased.
How come no one ever points out that justice is a woman? They like to say like everything is like created by men and shit.
Because the left ideologues who run the narrative just ignore things that are hypocritical to their own narrative.
Yeah, fair enough. They definitely do ignore hypocrites to their narrative. Hypocrites.
I want to do 2 shirts. One where it's a ring of pandas.
Okay.
Pandering.
Okay, right, yeah.
And then I want to have some hippos rolling D20s.
Oh my god, okay, yeah, hypocrites.
Yeah.
That's a great one. I fucking love that.
Yeah. Those are the 2 that I want to do. I'm sure I'm not original, but because I work for a t-shirt printing company.
I feel like the hypocrites one, I've never even heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been making that joke for years now. I hate hypocritical behavior.
I've never seen that on a shirt or even like anybody say that joke before. That's
I feel like I've done it so much that I feel like it's a commonplace joke now. Like it's not even original to me.
I mean, if you've done it, if you're the only one who's done it for 1,000,000 years, and I guess it's still considered original.
Copyright. Nobody who's listening. Nobody who's listening to this podcast, don't take my idea, please.
What about if somebody tells their friend?
No, not until I do the shirt. Then you can buy it from our store.
Yeah, there we go.
Merch.gofuckyourself.com.
We're gonna hopefully be able to, I mean, I don't know what you would know prices better than me, but I'm hoping we can like sell shirts cheaper than like at Teespring.
Oh
or
yeah,
something
for sure.
Like that.
Because I'm the labor, and I can have a direct from t-shirt suppliers.
Yeah,
so there's no markup on that, so it'll be dirt cheap as long as we're not doing crazy like 5-6 color things.
Yeah,
we keep it fairly simple. I don't mind coming in on Saturday or Sunday and then printing off
Like just whatever the order is.
Yeah, whatever the orders are or stuff like that. So, I mean, if there's a demand, I'd love to do that because we can make some good, decent profit off that. Because normally it's like you only do a little bit of markup, and now we're getting that extra markup because I'm doing all the work that would normally go to a whole nother company. Yeah,
pretty much, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a segue from our articles that kind of is a tie to the same thing. Okay. I don't know if you've been hearing about it, but there's been a bunch of shit going around about a particular trans person called Jessica Yaniv.
I have a feeling I know what you're referring to, but I don't know her name. Yep, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So this person I've been hearing about for a little while because I have Lindsay Shepherd on Facebook. Not Facebook, YouTube. Okay. And I watch her videos, and she, a couple weeks ago, today she got unbanned, but a couple weeks ago she got banned for communicating with this particular person, JY, is who they referenced before, but then there was a publication ban on this person's name.
Jessica really?
Yaniv. Yeah, because she's a trans person and, you're
not allowed to speak negatively of her.
At all. Like, you're not even say their name. Now the ban's over, so you can say whatever you want, name-wise.
But, could you before say her name but in a positive way?
Like when Lindsay Shepherd was talking about this person months ago, before she even got banned, she was referencing her as, and I'm being nice by referencing this trans person as the gender that they prefer to be, which is female. They referenced them as JY.
Oh, I see.
So it's like you can reference you can have a reference to the person. You could just not literally say their name so that they could be doxxed or something. Like, you know how you read that lady's name, Robin, whatever?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't say Robin. You'd have to say R, whatever.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I see
like
what
that
you're
kind
saying.
of thing. So I reference her as JY or Jessica Yaniv. It's the same person.
Okay.
This is a trans woman.
Yeah.
And recently, the news is that she wanted a Brazilian wax. And the person who was going to do the service was actually doing it from home. And as far as I know, I think they had actually shut the business down, but they, last year they were doing a promotion and Jessica was taking them up on their promotion.
Yes.
But now, and then
I remember hearing about this last year, and I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if it's the same scenario, but this is what's happened recently. And they wanted a Brazilian wax, but they still have male genitalia.
Yeah. And so the person doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. And there's a couple of reasons why. A, as a female beautician, a Brazilian wax, whatever you would call it, sandwich artist, you're meant to operate or work on women. Yeah. So she's not trained to work on men in the first place.
It's a different skill set.
Male genitalia, I should say, to be politically correct, whatever, fuck you. And the idea that, she doesn't want to do a Brazilian wax on a dude. Yeah. Even if I showed up and wanted my balls waxed.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, because she doesn't have the capabilities, the training that's required for that, for safety.
Yes.
Because trust me, I've shaved my balls before, and that shit hurts. Taking
hurts.
One hair hurts when it bleeds out. Yeah. I don't want to fucking get 40-year-old virgin on my balls.
Yeah.
Get that wax shit. So fuck that. So I understand where that person's coming from. But to drive the point home that this person's kind of shady, there's a bunch of Twitter conversations with this person where she was talking about, because she's local. She actually lives in Vancouver.
Are you serious? Yeah, this is a Vancouver thing?
She's a Vancouver.
Oh, we got to visit her. We got to invite her onto the podcast.
I don't want anything to do with her because she'll sue the fuck out of anybody for talking. She hears this podcast, she'll sue the fuck out of us.
Oh, man.
She was talking about how she was going to go on the ferry. Okay. And then she's like, if I'm in the bathroom and I see a young girl with a tampon string out or a pad, do you think it would be weird for me to ask them for one? Or do you think it would be weird for me to, if they're having trouble, to show them the proper use of a tampon and stuff like that? Do you think that would be odd? And it's like, you don't have a vagina. Why do you need a tampon in the first place? Let alone, why are you talking to 10-year-old kids?
Yeah, that's fucking creepy.
Or 12-year-old young girls. And then to further my point, when she was having this conversation with someone on Twitter who was being fairly respectable to the questions she was asking, where, a trans person's, it's, you're meeting them halfway, right? It's like they're asking this question, so you answer them pretty legitimately. So this conversation's happening. And it gets to the end of the Twitter thread that I was reading, and it's like, if I see a young girl in the bathroom and she's having trouble, what do you think I should do? And then the person's like, you should go find their mother and get them to help them, right?
Good answer.
I think she was also implying, like, should I go and help this young girl, even though it's not my child and it's a young girl or whatever? And they're like, no, go get their mother. Yeah. And then you think that the proper response to go get their mother would be, yes, that's what I'm going to do. This person, Jessica, basically said something else. I can't remember specifically what they said, but it wasn't like a confirmation that was the right decision to do. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess whatever, you know what I mean? Like it was it's hard to put in because I just read it a little while ago, like a couple of days ago, so it's not fresh in my head, and it's just the general concept of it. Mm-hmm. Let's go further. They put in an application for an LGBT friendly pool party, a topless pool party for kids aged 12 and older, with no parental supervision required for the safety and security of LGBT.
Oh my God, that's fucking horrible.
And you know what their thing is? So they're getting deferment to September to have a delegation with the city of Langley or whatever, to have like whether or not they're going to hold this event. And her response is, "Great, more time for me to have more ammo." What do you need more ammo for holding an event that's supposed to promote LGBT things? And why do you want 12-year-old young girls and boys to be topless at your fucking pool party?
That's fucking
whether it's not like. It says they're in quotes, for their own leisure, like among their own leisure if they want to or not. But you're gonna have fucking older men and women who are part of the LGBT, and sure, maybe that might have the general idea of being safe. But I ask a parent if they want their young child to go unsupervised to an event with a bunch of adults that they don't know anything about
with topless, yeah,
like. Come on!
Holy shit! So she's gonna do it. So
it's not for sure, but it's like.
Does she live in Vancouver? Like one of the
I don't know. It's somewhere around here. She takes the ferry, and she's definitely local.
Oh my God!
Lindsay Shepherd is also local, by the way. If you never knew that,
I did not know that either.
She went to UBC originally, and then she moved to Toronto or Ottawa when she went to that fucking school that she got in the hot water with.
Oh my God! Holy shit!
She's actually local too.
Fuck.
So like that's what I just wanted to bring that up because it's like that's a whole shit storm that just blew up suddenly, and I just want to. If anybody is listening to this, I just want to bring more attention to it. It's like not all LGBT people are like this, and I can understand that. But this person in particular is literally poking and prodding and trying to use trans activism as a guise for doing these weird fucking things that just are completely unnecessary.
Super fucking weird.
Like it's one thing, and I've said this before lots of times. I have no problem with what you want to do with your own body, being trans or whatever. You live your life. I've seen it all from most things in my life. I'm pretty accepting of people. Yeah. I draw the line at giving kids fucking hormone treatment therapy when they're young.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's right. If they aren't legal to vote and they aren't legal to consent to sex, then they aren't legal enough to consent to getting hormone therapy. And I don't give a fuck what you say.
Well, Shane, you need to stop being a fucking transphobe.
Yeah. Well, apparently I'm a pedophile. Sorry, anti-pedophilia too, because I'm not consenting to 5-year-olds getting fucked by 40-year-olds.
Man, that is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's fucking weird when they try to make it like. The whole like left wing people trying to make excuses for LGBT to paint them in the best light possible, not just saying, you know what, some people are just fucked in the head. Can we just say that of all groups?
So
some people fucked.
I've mostly haven't read into this story, but like what is the LGBT response to this person?
I don't actually know, to be honest.
Okay,
because I don't think that.
I would imagine after the pool party statement that a lot of them would like try to just be like,
maybe, but I mean it's still a LGBT like positive event, so they're gonna want like because it's an inclusive event, so there's no real things for LGBT on a consistent basis. So anything that's gonna be in the LGBT community,
Pride Parade.
Yeah, but that's once a year.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah, it's consistent, but it's once a year. I'm talking about like. There's singles dances every weekend. You know what I mean? There's not an LGBT night every weekend. Yeah. And even on Davie Street, where it's Gay Town Central, like, even then, there's not like LGBT night every night. It's just gay lesbian night.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying.
It's not. Remember, it might be good enough for me and you, right? To be like, yes, there's some. But they want it all the time. They want 24/7. They want fucking Superman to be fucking some dude. And they want them both to be black. You know what I mean?
If somebody wants to host like an LGBT event every night of the year, then that would be fine.
But maybe we draw the line at kids' topless party.
Yeah, kids' topless party is it's a little much.
Yeah, a little, just a hair over the line,
a little bit. Yeah, I mean,
and do you have? Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, fuck, we got to make sure that, like, no kids go to that party and then just get, like, a bunch of, like, ugly, old, hairy men like me to go there and pretend we're trans age.
Sounds like Wreck Beach.
Yeah, it fucking
Minus
does.
the trans. But yeah, pretty much sounds like Wreck Beach.
So people like me we'll say we're trans age and then just give her the worst showing ever.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do any worse than what she's already done for her own image.
Yeah, so again, like I'm like 90% certain this is the same woman, but I can't say for certain.
Okay, go ahead.
But when I heard about this about a year ago, when she was first like trying to go after all these waxing salons for her.
She has been doing that for a while. Yeah.
She specifically targets religious ones because that's how
it's like the cake one too in America, where it's like they went to a bunch of different bakeries,
a bunch of different Christian bakeries. Yeah. So it's like malicious. Now I could be wrong about that. This is because she's. If she ever hears this, like you said, she's gonna sue us. So
sue me, motherfucker! I make no money.
What are you gonna fucking get from us? We don't have money. She's clearly just a dumb bitch, and possibly can't confirm it yet, but possibly a pedophile. Okay.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It is a very odd, concerning thing for a woman with male genitalia to want to ask a 10-year-old, 12-year-old for a tampon or a pad. I'm sorry. I fully respect anyone who wants to identify as female but still have male genitalia. Again, totally fine. But let's be realistic. You don't need a tampon, and it's not realistic that you're bleeding at your ass that often that you need tampons and pads. Like, I'm sorry. Balls don't need pads.
No, they don't.
Period. And that's not a joke.
Good one. The other thing that makes me feel like what I'm thinking of is her as well is because when I was hearing about her again from a while ago, I vaguely remember that same tampon story that you just mentioned, where she was having this conversation or online conversation with a group of people, and then like that was the topic and everything. So fuck, man, that's just that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I'm trying to see quickly online, but I'm not really finding too much too quickly because I don't follow a lot of like quote unquote trusted trans activist LGBT community journalists.
They'd kick you out. They would ban you from whatever community
for asking a single question, probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So I'm not finding anything good that I can't immediately quote unquote report on for this podcast. But that is just something that's been irking me recently that I've been like, I don't want to say that I've been painting the town red trying to tell people as much as possible about that, but it's just been something that's just like, no, like you're the reason why real transphobes have good
like that
ammo against all the other people.
She's the ammo.
Yeah, you are the problem. And if you would just chill the fuck out and just stop trying to fucking sue everybody and want to host topless kids parties and asking young girls for tampons, no one would give a fuck about your choice to how you identify.
Yeah,
you can live your life however you want, but these are things that are very weird. And I would say 100% that if I was doing those things as a man, if I was going into a women's washroom as just me with balls and dick, regardless of how I choose to identify myself, ask a young girl for a tampon, I would get fucking thrown off the ferry.
Not even a woman's. If you went to a men's bathroom and like you notice a kid having trouble or whatever, you did anything to help that kid, you're thrown off the fucking ferry.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like the free pass that this person's getting for being trans is bullshit.
Yeah.
Just entirely. I just completely disagree with the statement. Like, just do whatever you want with your body. Do whatever you want with your life. But why does everyone else need to get involved? And why do you have to, like, abuse the system and the goodwill that trans people have been trying to build in, like, society to have representation in the government? Because all this is, to me, is, like, she's using the leverage that other trans people have built in the government to give them some leeway so they're not persecuted so directly. And then she's abusing it for... like monetary gains. I was even watching an article that Lindsay Shepherd was doing that I watched today about her being unbanned, and she was like saying like the amount of time that Jessica spends on doing like litigation and going out to salons to try to get denied for wax and stuff like that, she can't have a job. She can't have a legitimate 9-to-5 job that she's working, right? So it's like this is what she's doing for her whole day, is sitting on the computer, looking up places, finding people she can sue, starting up shit with the government when it comes to topless kids parties and stuff like that. Like, it's all bad. There's nothing positive about this entire situation that's been going on to me.
This is like what our real world definition of a villain would be.
I think it's a bit stretched. I think they're just...
I would call her
kind of garbage, but yeah, I mean, villain's hard. I mean,
she's a villain.
I'm not putting her in the same line as a Joker blowing up a building and fucking putting Batgirl in a fucking fridge.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen in the real world. This is as close as we get. Okay, fine.
Just saying. I'm giving her some leeway right now, and even I'm like saying, nah, man, that happens.
Well, I was just gonna bring in minimum wage.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about that? Go for it.
Yeah, because like recently, well, you just hear it a lot because like what's her name, or everyone wants to increase minimum wage to $15 an hour. We're doing it here in Vancouver, or
very
BC,
slowly over the like next few years. Yeah.
Yeah, which is I think the only possible way to do it.
Yeah, it's incrementally do it up.
Yeah. And I've said for a little while now that I think minimum wage does nothing but slow down people making money. Because like I feel like and maybe this is a skill that just needs to be taught at an early age, but if you can just negotiate your wage, then I personally feel like you could do better than minimum wage. But because there is a minimum wage, your negotiation power is like almost completely removed.
Yeah, I do agree with that statement. Just because you end up having so many people just getting paid minimum wage because so many jobs are not necessarily entry level, but they're not jobs that require any level of education or expertise. So most jobs start at minimum wage, and no employer ever really wants to give people raises unless they're useful.
But even when you move up in a company, you're moving up based on what the minimum wage is, right?
Yes,
so like true. I've known people that have been like managers for like smaller retail stores, probably still province wide, but smaller stores, like let's say Dollar Tree or something, you know, and they just get paid $1 more than minimum wage, but they have to be a manager or an assistant manager.
And they're on call all the time and stuff like that.
And it's just like, so even those things are built, like minimum wage is considered into those things as well. And I personally just feel like fucking scrap minimum wage, just give people the universal basic income. Yeah. And then people will have a significant amount of bargaining power in terms of what wage they want.
Or they don't have to work shitty jobs that don't pay well.
Yeah. And that's where the bargaining power comes from, right? Because you're already given the universal basic income. So if you're going for a job interview and the guy is just like, I'm only going to pay you $5 an hour, you could easily just say, no, I don't need this. I just want extra money.
Because you have living money or close to living money. Yeah. I agree with what you're saying in concept, but I will say that humans individually, I would say on a broader scale, don't have the capability to bargain.
That's something that needs to be taught.
Maybe it's something that needs to be taught, or at least understood that this is a thing. Because I know a few people, like friends of mine, that just the idea of ever, like even asking how much the job pays in the interview is an awkward conversation that people don't want to have. Whereas for me, I'm like, but that's the exchange. Yeah. That's what I'm getting hired for. I'm getting hired so you pay me so I do a thing.
I have always asked.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. But we're the outliers. We're the people that enough. Like you saying that. I agree with you. The bargaining thing and the universal basic income and stuff like that. I agree in concept that works. But I know for a fact that other people who don't have a skill set or just entering the job market or don't have the level of confidence that say you or I do with jobs and getting them won't bargain. Like and to be honest, even I haven't really bargained for a lot of my wages. I'm just really lucky that most of the times I'm just smart about what jobs I pick. So for example, when I worked at EB Games, that was minimum wage because they pay minimum wage. And by the way, fucking every year you might get a 10-cent raise. So that's the shittiest.
It was the same way at Toys R Us.
Yeah, basically. It's rough. Toys, they should have given you a lot better of a deal with raises, but I'm sure you got some other promotion. Anyway.
We had health and dental plan. And I will say, Toys R Us had a very good system for health and dental plan. It was just like $12 a week and you got it. Or sorry, 12 hours a week and you got it.
That's a good benefit to offset a low wage and a low like incremental raise increase. But 100%. Once I got out of EB Games and started doing labor jobs like painting or doing screen printing, like I instantly went above minimum wage. Like it was 8 something for minimum wage when I entered the official job market at like 17 or something. Let's just say 18, just to be nice and easy. When I entered the official job market of being an adult, minimum wage was still like $8-9, and I was working painting jobs that were paying me minimum $10. Yeah. And then when I got into doing screen printing, the minimum wage was going up, so I started at minimum wage because I was entering a new profession. Yeah. And then within like a year, I talked my boss to giving me a $1 raise because I'm like, in 6 months, you're gonna have to give me this raise regardless. Yeah. So just give it to me now as an act of good faith. You like care that I work and I'm doing a good job. And he said, fine.
And he gave it to you.
And he gave it to me. And then once I have built my skill set with this job, I've been able to basically enter a job and they offer me a good wage. So when I went to my next shop after the first one, I got offered $13 an hour.
Okay, yeah, right? Decent.
And then within a year of working there, I went to $13.75 or some shit.
Okay, that's a good raise.
It's not bad. And keep in mind, minimum wage is still like 1025 at this point,
at that point,
right? Yeah, and then when I quit doing screen printing for a while because I was kind of fed up, and I went to doing dishwashing. Even dishwashing, I was getting paid $12 an hour.
Yeah,
which is good. That's a lucky scenario for me that I found a place that was pay dishwashers above minimum wage, because most of the time they would pay you.
They consider it like the bottom easiest job.
But for me, I count it as circumstance. I'm just good at picking jobs. And then when I went back to doing screen printing after taking like a 6 month to a year hiatus, I got hired at $16 an hour.
Jesus.
And then within a year or two of working there, I got bumped to 18.
Damn.
And now I'm not going to say how much I'm making, which is pretty good considering I've been in this industry for like 10 years, taking like a 6 month break off.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. For me, when I got my current job, I got it a year and a half ago. Even then, so I was going to bargain for $18 an hour, that because they never actually. So I applied for the job, but they never said how much it was going to be. So I went into the interview. My goal was $18 an hour. Now they offered me more than that.
Yeah, because you're in paid salary.
Yeah. So they offered me more than that, and even when they offered me more, I still upped it.
Oh, really?
Even more, yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't tell them that your initial starting was 18.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I waited for them to give me the number first.
Exactly. See, that's a strategy. So you ask them, so what is this job going to pay? Yeah. Not in those words, maybe, unless you have the balls. And then you bargain from there.
Pretty much, yeah.
And again, it's all about playing to your skill set and knowing what you're good at. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a lot of customer service experience and you're going into a customer service job, ask for more because you have experience. You're not minimum wage. You have a skill set that's better than someone who's just entering the job market.
You know what? For a long time, and I think this is part of to do with my like just hating myself complex, but I thought customer service was a total bullshit skill.
Yeah.
And I still kind of think that.
It's an easy skill to learn if you're doing it, but yeah.
But like after getting this office job of mine, where customer service is a part of it, but there's
not
a lot other. It's not the primary part, but seeing like the other office people try to do the customer service portion of it, and they are fucking terrible at it.
It's about situation diffusement.
Yeah,
that's how I look at customer service, because it's all about solving a problem and getting the customer what they want or what they think they want, right?
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? Like, not every customer knows exactly that they are wrong. It's about telling them that they're wrong. I had a lady on Friday that came in for that job to do it. Yeah. And I was like, she's like, oh, I'm sorry this is taking so long. And I'm like, trust me, you're not the first person to come in here that's picky. And she's like, oh, picky, that's like, sounds like it's a negative. And I'm like, I don't play that game in my head, right? I'm like, I mean specific, because everybody wants a image of something that's very particular, and getting it onto the t-shirt exactly like that never happens.
From your mind to the shirt.
Exactly. You need to, like, a digital image of something that's going to be on a t-shirt. It might get close, but it's never going to be that perfect. The computer has perfect reproduction. So it's unrealistic to think that's going to be perfect every time, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So, for me, it's all about diffusement when it comes to customer service.
No, I completely agree. I mean, and in my job, I have the kind of job where I typically only hear from customers when we do a bad job.
Yeah.
Because like it's a lot of like sending my techs out to do like digging in the yard or something.
No one complains
like that.
when things are done properly.
That's pretty much it. Sometimes we do get phone calls where the customer is just like, hey, so like your guys were supposed to be here doing the dig and everything, and my guys just did such a good job putting everything back together, the customer doesn't even notice that there was a dig in on their property. I'm just like, yeah, no, they did it. We have the pictures and everything. I can even send them to you if you want.
Nice.
Yeah, they dug on your property. She's like, wow, you guys did a great fucking job. So, you know, you get the good and the bad.
It's hilarious that your guys are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, electrical engineer techs, like they're digging up like power lines and stuff like that.
Well, we don't go that deep into it.
I know, but like they're also gardeners because they have to dig up people's lawns and then put them back to pristine.
Put them back
shape.
Nicely.
Yeah,
if there's flowers and everything, we got to make sure we don't damage it. Yeah. No, the guys are good and they take care because you know, if anything happens, you know, they're gonna hear about it.
Yeah, so, exactly. So they have to go above and beyond.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I don't know, customer service in my regard is mostly about, like you said, diffusion.
Yeah.
I mean, before I worked at my current job, customer service was pretty much the entire thing. So in those cases, customer service was just about getting the customer in and out, I would say.
Yeah. Or being chatty to a certain degree. I'm probably better than you are at the chatty thing, but
I'm not great at it. Better than other people, I'm realizing.
Again, it's conditioning. You probably weren't very good when you first started, but eventually you get thrust into it so many times, you just kind of know the story beats of what to say.
That's it, right? Yeah. And I don't know. Now it's just mostly about diffusion, like I said.
Yeah.
Just tell the customer like, oh, we'll take care of it, we'll fix it. Or if the customer is wrong and being an asshole, then I don't know. you have to subtly tell them that we can't do anything.
Yeah, you're wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. Or blame somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Pass the puck.
I'm totally fine with that.
Whatever.
Do
you want me to bring up something else? I got more.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I came armed today. So I kind of went on a weird thing. I watched Your Mom's House podcast with Tom Segura.
Yes.
And his wife, Christina Pazynski.
They got demonetized recently, right? Am I thinking?
They might have.
Okay. Something about the intro music that they were using. I'm just thinking of one of Joe Rogan's friends. So it's either Tom Segura or what's the other one? Not Bert Kreischer. There's a third one.
Ari Shaffir?
Ari Shaffir.
It's probably Ari Shaffir.
Okay. Something.
I don't actually listen to his podcast, so I think it's him because he really has a I don't give a fuck attitude.
Oh, well, there we
go. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, nah, fuck you. I want to listen to this song.
So I won't go into this too much so that we can go to your topic.
Go for
but like he puts some kind of song at the beginning of each episode of his podcast. So on YouTube, every single episode got demonetized and is going to whoever. Like the revenue of the entire episode goes to whoever wrote the song. Yeah.
That sounds like Ari Shaffir. I remember him bitching about that.
It's kind of a real bitch move. Anyways.
It is a bitch move, especially when you copyright the entire thing. There should be you only copyright the portion of that time of
then you get that percentage of the.
That would be a much more diplomatic way or democratic way of doing it. Okay, so I was listening to their podcast, and they always bring up like clips, like funny clips of different things. Like Christina's been doing this thing where she is on TikTok, and she somehow found this like weird part of TikTok that's like
I have been looking and I cannot find this weird
exactly
TikTok.
And everyone says that about her. It's like she's like, I don't know how I did it, but I just keep getting these people all the time, and she's having a great time. And they have a new word for retarded, which is TikTok.
That's where you got that from.
Yeah. So Tom brought in this one video where it's this dude and he's cutting down a tree, like a tree branch, and he's sawing it. And then it like swings down and hits him in the head. and at first they're laughing and they're like, oh, that's hilarious. And they're like, let's watch that again. And then they watch it again. They're like, I don't think that was his hat. I think it knocked off his head. I think they knocked off his head.
Oh, shit.
So eventually a couple like weeks, I think it was like I waited a week or whatever. And I remember that again. And I'm like, I had a kind of a little bit of a rough moment today and I need something to cheer me up. So I watched that clip.
Okay.
And I not the clip. I watched the actual video. And the quality is kind of shitty, and it kind of cuts out like off frame when the guy gets hit in the head. So I couldn't really pause it enough to see like a head coming off.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was I went down like a tree cutting rabbit hole down YouTube.
On YouTube
of just random stuff. So there was this one where it was like guy gets hit in the face with a saw, and I'm just waiting for the cringe. I'm just looking away, and he's like wearing no protective gear. He's like in his like driveway. He's sawing the stuff like onto the cement, and basically like the saw like gets caught on something and nicks and like flings up.
Oh,
he's wearing like a baseball cap.
Oh, thank God! Okay.
And I think the baseball cap like catches it or makes him flinch enough that he stops because he walks. He's got his back towards the camera. I don't know why he's filming this in the first place. I think it's like a garage camera or something. But he's walking away, and I have a scar next to my eye that I got when I was younger. Okay. And when that happened, that was like a small cut.
Okay.
And it was gushing blood. It's not on my head, right? So if this dude sawed any part of his face, I'm expecting blood squirting all over the place. But he was walking away from the camera in his pavement, and there was no blood coming out. So I don't think he got hit. I think it just nicked his hat.
Jesus Christ, man.
But what I really found, which I thought was the most hilarious video, it was this video called Fuck You! Exclamation mark Dan the man's tree cutting service.
Okay.
And it's this really jacked dude, and he's like standing in front of this woman's house because he's a tree removal and gardener type dude. Okay. And he's like, so I'm here for this job. Apparently some asshole cut this tree down, didn't finish the job, and he just like fucked off.
Okay.
And didn't finish the job, so I'm I do some gardening for this guy, so I'm just gonna do this job for this person. And then so it's him, and he's doing like this like really clean job of like cutting up this tree that's been knocked over.
Okay.
And a really shitty stump cut.
Yeah.
And you see him, he's like cutting off the individual branches, and he's doing it really nicely. This guy's, by the way, he's jacked. Like there's this part where he like slices the trunk.
Are you like the log or whatever?
Yeah, the log with a chainsaw.
Gee, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I'll show you the video later, but it's literally, the video is called Fuck You! Exclamation mark Dan the man's tree cutting service.
Okay.
And I think it's by this channel called Human, I believe is what the channel was called. And it's this jack dude, and it's from like 2 years ago that I found this video. I don't know why. Again, it's a weird rabbit hole that I went down of morbid, weird tree cutting accidents. I have another one too that's less funny, but it's goofy. This was the pinnacle. So he's cutting up this tree and he's slicing it like as if he's like slicing a steak. Like he's taking the log and then he's doing slice. Slice.
So the log is lying down horizontally and he's doing vertical cuts in the log, right?
Yeah. But then it doesn't fall apart. Like he's not cutting it all the way through. Then he takes his like fireman's axe and just gives it one good whack, and it like kunk, 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 like,
Are you serious?
Yeah, it comes apart in like dope. Perfect pieces. This guy's great. And every once in a while, as he's cutting up the tree, he'll like stop and then take another video. Mm-hmm. Like he'll have the video of him doing the cutting, and then he'll come and look at the video, take a break, and he's like, "So I found out more of this Dan the man. And some of this fucking asshole. He took this bid on this contract. He took a $900 deposit, cut the tree down, and then fucked off and didn't finish the job. And it was a $1,800 job. So he didn't take the other $900 for completing the job. Yeah, but he took the damage deposit.
The first $900.
Yeah, and didn't complete the job and left it half done.
Oh my god.
And he's also like criticizing the guy. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same dude. And somebody were telling me that he has like a minivan or some shit like that. And then it's like. He does the whole thing where he does the job and he keeps intersplicing where he keeps talking shit about how Dan's a piece of garbage. And then it's a shot of him back at his house and he's like, so I wanted to investigate more of this Dan the man, see his business. So he goes to the Better Business Bureau site and he searches up Dan the man tree cutting and it's got an F. On the Better Business Bureau, and it's got like 9 ratings, and they're all 1 star. Has the same scenario where he's like, yeah, he tells you some sob story about his son just recently died, and it makes you feel all guilty and shit. But he'll take the damage deposit, do 3 hours of work, and then fuck off and not finish the job and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I found another video of them doing it. Another thing he said that when he was doing that job in the initial part of the video, he's like, he left his rope here. He fucking had the audacity to call the customer and ask if he could come get his rope back, and he's like, no, fuck that dude.
Really?
My rope now. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Jesus
so if you guys want to see
Christ.
it, I'll show it to you later. There's
what an asshole.
Yeah, I know. He's a really big dick. He said that also that there was someone in a different state that his name was also Dan, and he also does a tree cutting service, and that this guy is so shitty, that Dan the man... that this guy's covering for is so shitty that it's ruining his business in a different state by association because it has the same name.
Dan.
Yeah, I know. It fucking sucks. And then, okay, so the other video that's completely different than the Dan the Man video is this dude who's like in a tree, and there's like this older gentleman who his entire channel is basically like travel logs of his vacation, but this one random video, it was titled Tree Trimming Tragedy.
Okay, all right.
It's not as bad as the other ones. Relatively, but it's just funny.
He doesn't get his head cut off, but okay.
No, but it's this dude in a tree, and it's mostly got all its branches cut off. It's just they're trimming it down so they can cut it down all the way.
I know what you're saying.
And this dude is doing it super carelessly, where he's cutting like big chunks off, and he's just letting it free fall to the ground. And this dude, this old dude with the camera, is like, I think you just bent that guy's fence. Like, aren't you going to do something about that? Like, you want to be a little more careful or something? And he keeps goading this guy on, and keeps cutting the tree down. The guy is basically just waving him off.
Okay.
Keeps doing it, and then he keeps hitting this one fence, and he's like, dude, like, don't break that fence, because if you break that fence, you can't fix it because it's cemented into the ground.
Oh, shit.
It's like a metal fence that has cement plants in the ground.
Oh, my God.
So it's like to replace the fence, you're going to have to dig out the concrete and lay new concrete to lay out new fencing.
Put the fence in.
He's like, you're not going to be able to fix that if you damage that fence beyond repair.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way of fixing it, so you better be careful, right? And there's another part where he like drops another branch on a dude's shed because all the houses are like back to back.
Oh my God.
And he's
does
like,
it collapse, or does it destroy the shed?
Yeah, it basically destroys the shed, like, or at least breaks it to a point where like the guy comes out, like the one of the other neighbors, and he's like, did you mean to do that? Did you mean to break that shed? Was that what your intention was? Like, sarcastically asking him. And then there's a part where he like cuts away because he's like, at his house, and he's not just sitting there watching this dude the whole time. Where he cuts back and he's like, I didn't get it on camera, but a tree log like hit one of the dude's friends in the head. Like, the dude who was cutting down the tree, one of his friends got hit in the head. So you see the shot where one of the dudes is on the ground and he's walking and he's holding the back of his head and like checking his hand and stuff like that. And the dude on camera is kind of like, I think you knocked that guy's like neck off.
Oh my God.
But the dude obviously walked away. Yeah. Like, he was being kind of morbid about it, but it was a weird thing where it's like, I just watched this one video and it's sent me down a weird like rabbit hole of shitty tree cutters. But that was just a weird thing I wanted to bring up because I thought it was fun to be like, it's a weird rabbit hole I went down.
Just a fucking weird ass tree injury rabbit hole.
Yeah, I know. Super morbid.
Any other topical news that you wanted to bring up?
Not really, because anything else I'm going to talk about is going to probably take a a while to get through.
All right.
I have something. It's not necessarily topical. It's just, it's not topical to anything that needs to be talked about in this episode in particular. It can be, it can be talked about anything. It's more of like a zeitgeist thing.
Okay. So you want to hold off on it?
I want to hold off on it because I feel like it's a decent discussion that we can both have back and forth and have different opinions on.
Fair enough, yeah.
I can give you a preview if you really want to, but I don't think it's necessary.
I feel like I want to hear it.
Okay, the preview is, and I don't want to go into it because I don't want this podcast to take another 3 hours to go through.
Yeah.
Is that I have a gripe with the binge watching mentality that people have nowadays.
Oh, for Netflix?
Yeah, or anything. Even anything that gets released non-episodically. Yeah. Where it gets dumped.
I know what you're saying.
And my premise for this, that's just my gripe.
Let's just hold it.
Yeah, and then next week I'll talk about my actual in-depth things about it. I'll bring some more points I have, but that's just my thing of my counter to the binge-watching zeitgeist that's happening right now.
Fair enough. All right. I'm still going to bring in my trigger.
That's fine. You go for
it. So my trigger this week is this fucking city. Okay? Fucking Vancouver.
Yeah.
First of all, might as well just start with this because you brought it up. The fucking the pedophile trans person.
Okay.
Might as well just add that to it too because it's part of it, you know.
Oh, just as part of the Vancouver as a whole.
Vancouver, you know.
I feel like your thing is still a little bit more specific than just personal. General Vancouver, but we'll start with that.
So, just so everyone knows, the way we do this podcast is on Saturdays. Drive from point A to point B to get to podcasting. Okay. To get to our recording location.
Yeah. From your work.
Yeah. Today I had to go through a highway, and right at the exit of the highway, they turned 4 lanes into 1.
Yeah.
Which is fucking brutal.
Yeah, coming off the highway too.
Took me, I want to say I was in standstill there for about 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, fucking crazy.
Yeah, something like that. And then there was another roadblock that lasted from one major intersection to another. So
another main street, yeah.
Yeah, another main street, yeah. So you couldn't go through that main street. You had to turn off and then
reconnect with it later on. Yeah.
And then as a kicker for parking, I couldn't park near the place because I'll just say they took out the parking temporarily.
Yeah, normally you can park in this particular spot, and they made it so you can't park there right now.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's rough. That's why I'm glad I don't drive in this fucking city, because everything's a fucking gong show, whether it's gas prices, insurance, fucking just car maintenance in general, fucking road work.
Well, gas prices has gone down.
Yeah, no, it's gone down. I just mean, like, just in general, they're kind of bullshit.
Well, and road work is a real pain in the ass. Fuck.
And we're not known for having very good roads in BC.
That highway one really pissed me off. I did not see that coming. I should have just taken another exit or something.
Yeah, just taken the highway a little bit further and then connect to it later.
Yeah. I don't know that path. I'd have to use Google Maps, so there'd be a little bit more thinking, but fucking hell. Yeah,
if you knew ahead of time,
If I knew ahead of time, So that's my trigger. Fucking this city. It's just this fucking city. I mean, I guess it's more specifically road work.
Yeah, it's more traffic and their inability to actually plan ahead properly. Like, you think that it's pretty obvious that coming off the highway
on a Saturday
afternoon, there might be a lot of fucking people, and maybe you shouldn't fucking close it down at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, well, turn 4 lanes into 1, right?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I mean, I guess there's no good day to do it, but I feel like Friday and Saturday afternoon are the worst days. I might be wrong on that. Well, less business traffic. It's more like...
Definitely less than the weekday, but still, like, even that, it's still a highway. Can't you merge it? Can't you go to, like, it starts at 4?
The
highway, like, from 4, did it go from 5?
I don't know, because...
I think it's 4.
I mean, possibly. I was on there from, like, 6.
No, I'm just saying, like, like 6 lanes?
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Lanes.
My bad. I thought you were talking about time. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was, I believe it was 4, yeah.
Okay, so it merges from 4 to 1. Why can't they do 4 to 1? You know what I mean? Like, 4 merges into 2, merges into 1. Like, wouldn't that be a better scenario, and do that with a little bit of planning? Why does it need to go 4 into 1? Like, have you ever taken a shit before? Does it all fucking just come from your bladder and then right down your butthole? No, it goes down a tube that shifts it into a thing that's manageable for your butthole to shit out.
You know a lot more about buttholes than I do. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm just saying.
I feel like
the intestines, they do that. You go have a large intestine, you have a small intestine. It's squeezing it down. It's like fucking making a sausage, dude.
Fuck, it's been so long since I've taken bio.
I feel like that's a pretty obvious thing.
But it comes out of the small intestine. Yeah.
And then it comes out of your butthole.
Is it the large one? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it goes from large to small.
It goes from large to small, right?
I think that makes more sense to me, at least.
Yeah. So, I mean...
I could be wrong and an asshole, but I feel like that makes more sense.
Anyways, I just want to, fuck this city, okay? That's
fine. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. I feel the same way about that a lot.
I mean, there's some nice things about this city, but still, screw it.
Yeah.
I do like that we have whatever scenery we want. If we want to go to the mountains, we have that.
Yeah, that's why I try not to leave.
Farmland.
Yeah. We got it hot in the summer, and then we have cold in the winter. Some snow.
I feel like we're not allowed to bitch about that because our hot is not...
It's not hot as that,
like other parts of Canada.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I mean, still fuck the heat. I'm sorry, I'm not a heat person. I'll just stay indoors for all of summer.
Yeah,
I'll go in the rain any time of the day, but fucking summer, fuck that shit. Yeah, it's too hot. It's gross, dude. I feel like passing out sometimes walking around in the heat.
Jesus Christ.
My friend had a heat stroke on Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah. They went. Shit. Well, technically it was Monday. They left work. I went to a doctor's appointment, and then on the way back had heat stroke, went to the emergency room, spent pretty much the entire day at the emergency room. We went to go get them at 12 o'clock, and then we took Tuesday off of work so I could take care of her. Mm-hmm. And and I've just been making her pound water, but it's like the heat is just so gross, dude. It just fucks with so many people. I personally literally feel like throwing up sometimes walking around in the heat.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
My place is good for this time of the year because my place is always colder than outside.
Yeah.
During the winter, it really fucking sucks. Yeah. But during this time of the year, it's a little bit nicer.
Yeah. It's like having a basement, but you're not in the basement.
Oh, anyways, man.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to close it out. I actually do have wise words of wisdom for this one. Right. I'm giving you a double. Because I need to make up. But they're kind of the same, but it's a double. Okay?
All right.
So... I got one for men and I got one for women.
All right. Okay.
Right? Which one do you want to hear first?
Let's hear the men's one.
Okay. If you're a dude and you can't see your dick and balls from looking down, you fucked up.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. Now for women, same concept, different anatomy. If your tits rest on your gut, you fucked up.
Very good.
That's my fat analogy.
That's your fat analogy.
My fat phobe.
I don't appreciate your fat phobic statements.
Do your tits rest on your gut, Ken? Yes. Fuck you. All right, everyone. Well, that's it for today.
No, I need to say because I always say no. I don't have anything else. But I always say this, so I'm just gonna continue it.
Go for it.
I opened, so you closed. Although you already did your fucking statement.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Good enough. Y'all have a good night. Fuck you.
Fuck you.